Just getting PPI data coming through here for the month of March. I'm hearing 2.7%. There it is, 2.7% versus 3.2% prior print on the year-over-year number there for, again, March PPI. This one actually, there it is, PPI 2.7 versus 3.2 on the last. Core 3.3. That was versus 3.5 forecast there and 3.4 on the prior. So downside still higher than expected for both. Month over month, negative 0.4 versus a 0.1% uptick that was expected there. So PPI coming in lower than expected, but still higher on a month over month basis. Keep in mind, coming up at 10 o'clock this morning, Michigan consumer sentiment, that does have an inflationary portion to it. We'll get a 5-year and a 1-year. Inflation expectation number as a part of that Michigan consumer sentiment data. So heads up at 10 o'clock, a whole bunch of Fed speakers once again this morning to deal with as well. A few this afternoon also coming off what happened yesterday. Huge downtick for the market once again yesterday after what a move we had 2 days prior. It's a flat morning. I don't know whether to be happy about that or kind of scared at this point.
I'm exhausted, Brendo.
It's been a long week. Yeah. There's been a few things that have happened, but yeah, I mean, positive right now. We'll call 0.7 positive and flat overall. Yes. When was the last time you came in on a morning and said, oh, the market's up 0.7% and it's kind of flat?
Yeah, exactly. Like a 100-point move is a flat move now relative to what we've been seeing lately. Lots to talk about today, Brendo. The banks in focus, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, BlackRock, all reporting this morning. So we'll talk about them. They're all in the green right now. China back with their reciprocal tariffs. I don't know what to call this anymore. Yeah,
reciprocating the reciprocating of the. I don't know.
125%. It's becoming comical. The Ministry of Commerce or Ministry of Finance out in China basically saying we're not even going to respond to any more increases because it's effectively rendered trade not non-existent. So we'll talk about that. And last but not least, Meta in focus, Brendo, because their FTC trial starts on Friday. They're looking to break up the company. So
yeah, well, I mean, Meta not bad here this morning, kind of flat with the overall market. I was reading an article last night that was kind of interesting on how this is all going to play out and whether or not, like, is the goal here just to get everyone in a room and say, look, this is the new structure, this is the new terms, this is the new deal. It'll be something along the lines of like a NATO or something where everyone has to pay like an annual due, and then they'll get access to, you know, the global trade network at that point or something.
You know what I feel like? I feel like we've kind of gotten to the bottom of the barrel with respect to the trade. Now it's turning political. Yeah. So like we'll have to wait and see, can these guys get together, sit in a room, iron something out, and reduce the volatility.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there's Meta up about 0.5% here this morning. Not really doing a heck of a lot right now. Meanwhile, bank earnings this morning. JPM had a nice move initially. We got up to that high from 2 days ago. It comes right back in, though. Still up 1.2%. Wells Fargo, another one reporting this morning. Not huge moves here, but we are officially back into earnings season, guys. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday. Look, it's one of those. Maybe we just needed a calm day.
Friday.
Knock on wood, but hey, you can't be mad the banks are making a bunch of money. Yeah, they're going to be cautious in the calls, and we understand a lot of that. And JP Diamond, obviously, Jeremy. I'm supposed to call him Jeremy. Fine, Sharif. Jeremy Diamond, as usual, was very, very cautious on what he thinks can still be a slowdown. But hey, they're up across the board. It's just eerily sideways on a lot of things. I was looking at remember last night or in the afternoon yesterday when we had that rumor or the talk of potential Chinese stocks getting delisted, and there was that big move in BABA and basically every single Chinese listed name. BABA hasn't moved for an hour and 15 minutes. Like, that's as sideways gets, exactly at the same level it was at when that rumor hit, when that story hit. So there's just I don't think it'll be this quiet. It kind of feels as if everyone's waiting for the first person to make a move here. Market is up, so we're happy with that. I'm a little skeptical on the Chinese names to the upside, but I felt that way yesterday too when they were gapped up. It's just so weird. I can't remember the last time I saw this much sideways action across the board. And it's not like it's just BABA, like NVIDIA's barely moved for an hour as well.
Yeah, Jamie Dimon. Look, I mean, banks don't normally set the world on fire here with their reports. So we're not really expecting too much from them, but it's nice to be up. JP Morgan leading the charge here, up 1%. Wells Fargo was just flat-ish. We're getting a little bit bump up here on that PPI number. It's nice to see that, yeah. So Wells Fargo right where we are as well as Morgan Stanley. So well, I thought my voice was fine a couple seconds ago. We're ready to go here today. It's nice to see a day finally. Now the Nasdaq's starting to go up 2%, or sorry, up 1% with a nice move right here, and we're starting to take out some of those pre-market highs. Let's see if we can do that. 18,700. I mean, yeah, tumultuous week. Yesterday, the S&P 500, so the SPY, moved 1% every 10 minutes. Yesterday. So if you were trading this name yesterday and, it was up 1%, 10 minutes later, it could be flat, then 10 minutes later, back to that 1%, so on and so forth. So that's the kind of volatility that we were experiencing yesterday in the SPY. Now, do we make new highs today and break through that pre-market? We're going to wait to see if that is the case, but we still have so much more to go. There's nothing really on the imbalance locators this morning. I wonder, we're not expected to hear from Trump. He's boarding some plane at 10:30 or something, and I think that's when the only time he's expected to talk to the press today. So we'll see if there's anything going on there. Very mixed bag here to start with bids and offers. So yeah, I mean, we're excited for China for sure, and some of the plays over there. FXI making moves this morning as well, up 3%. As Neil said, pretty flat here early, but I guess that was a nothing burger story. We did, we did act like it was something there yesterday. Some of the names moved down. You had mentioned that DIY, and we looked at Luck and Coffee. Some of the names, okay, so it's back up a little bit here today, but this was, a nice drop there on the OTC markets, and now it's right back to where it was. So I just wanted to show this because it was something that we talked about yesterday. Up 10% today, but they're all, and you already showed Alibaba. So I feel like we retest some of those lows again, and I do want to get in at those lows now. So, I didn't want to catch that falling knife, but now I can sort of potentially know how far we can cut, cut as in how deep the knife is going to cut. Those lows that we had made, and I don't hope we get another opportunity. I think we will, especially with earnings. But I think I'm going to be a buyer now of 415, 420, something like that down here on the triple Qs. So if the Nasdaq can get a little lower, I'll even nibble a little bit today. Unfortunately, the Band-Aid has been ripped off, and it was a violent rip. And, you don't get these moves, obviously, Neil, in the market when the market's healthy. You don't go up 2,900 points one day and then down 1,200 or whatever it was yesterday in the Dow, right? And so it's not, and this is only 30 companies. Like, it's not a healthy environment, that is for sure. But at the end of the day, volatility is great for guys like us because we're able to swing back and forth. So yeah, Palantir, I just see in the chat, what's up, Viper House? I mean, if we're going to be green today, Palantir's a great spot to look. I mean, the way this stock can move when the market gets going is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I mean, we like all of these. I mean, I like all of these names. Palantir breaking that 100 would be real spicy right there on the daily. Doesn't have a 13% move in it today, I don't think. But that would be real nice. We'll wait for that. Getting above the 50, then clear that, then boom, then you use the 50 as your bottom. That's great. So there's a lot of ideas that are going to be happening in the next couple of days. And the big one for me today, I mean, I'm looking at, I think we should have Michael Noss coming through today. I'm not sure. Intel short still. Despite the market being up 1%, Intel, whoops, all the way back down again. So we'll wait for some $20
There's
shorts.
a negative story there for...
Oh, is there? I didn't even read it.
Well, there's basically, it was, what's the name of the Chinese org? There's CSIA or whatever out of China, basically reiterating which firms were exempt from some of the tariffs. Right. And basically because it's like TXN and Intel, like their plants are all in the U.S. and then AMD and
others. Texas Instruments was down.
AMD, Qualcomm, and maybe somebody else. Like they have some in Asia, so there's an exemption for them, but not for TXN and Intel. TXN's down way more than Intel. They're down like 5 points.
What?
Hey.
Hey-o.
Yeah, so that's why Intel's looking relatively
starting
weak.
Again.
I agree. I think they look like a short as well.
Oh, wait, when I was going to do that, I was doing that. Someone in the chat was like, hit the do something.
Make the market move.
We're going to make it do something there. Yeah, no, Texas Instruments, good call on that one. I did see that story, and they were down a lot more than Intel. Are they still? Yeah, still down 4% there for Texas Instruments, Intel down 1.5%. So yeah, man, we'll poke the bear a little bit today. I mean, the bear's been poked. The bears woke up, and you know, I don't know. The bull still seems to be chilling out a little bit. We did have we have those guys. We still got double bears over there
today.
Double barrel bears.
Here, not that we're out of a really bear market.
You're gonna change one over.
I don't know. We're flat.
Randy not here today. We'll have to get our own.
Usually Randy does something like this, but I realized he hasn't been doing.
He's not here today.
Oh, that's right. Gotta get our own coffee.
All right, let's get back over to the desks as we. Justin Rose Masters right now, the Englishman winning. We'll see what happens here today. I have to see if there's anything going on today. You know, they had in Hurricane Helene that they had there in the Masters. On the course, they lost over 1,600 trees on the course alone at Augusta. I heard one of the. I was watching it last night, and 1,600 trees. Yeah, got wiped out. I think it was in the fall. I'm not sure when that hurricane was, but. 1,600 trees. But I mean, the course still looks beautiful. I always wondered about going to the Masters or going to anything like that. I think it would be a great opportunity to do that. But at the end of the day, isn't golf such a better sport to watch on TV?
I feel like, I don't know.
No, because then you're watching, like, you get to see all of the golfers. Like, if you're following and you're at the Masters, you pretty much just got to sit at, like, hole 15 or whatever. And
so I agree with you 100% from, like, if you're from an enjoyment of the sport aspect. I got to figure if you're really big, which I'm not, if you're a really big golf fan, it's just the whole bucket list thing.
Oh, of course. No, it's...
And not about... Because I remember, like,
I'd rather go to the Masters than, like, a World Series.
There was that charity tournament that happened, used to happen a lot annually here in, sometimes in Brampton, sometimes other places, and it was Michael Jordan and a bunch of celebrities to put a tournament on. And it's cool, but like your best bet, you hang out at one hole as everybody comes by.
Right.
So if you were actually trying to watch people play, like you're not, like you're looking to see everybody one at a time. And if you're watching golf, you're literally watching the same hole for the entirety of the day and hoping to get it.
Like baseball, you go there. It's great to be in this, in the stadium. It's a little slower. Everything's right there. Yeah, but golf for sure. Anyways, they only sell Masters gear at the Masters. Like there's certain things that when you get there, smart. And the worst part about it is it's so hard to get tickets. But then if you go and if it rains or something like that, then it's like sometimes they'll cancel the day or whatever, and it's just like, oh my God, what has happened? You can't get tickets again. You can't just go the next day.
Yeah, that'd be rough.
It's crazy, but anyways, it'd be nice to go there one day. If anybody has any spare tickets, hop on a plane.
I feel like that's a Raheem thing.
Hop on a plane. Raheem, yeah, well, and he's in here next. We'll see if he's ever been to any prestigious golfing event. I've been to the Canadian Open a couple of times.
He's more about the horse racing.
Yeah, one time it was at Glen Abbey.
Yep.
It's been in Hamilton, so I've been to 2 Canadian Opens. It was just up near my house, actually, last year, and I didn't go. So
yeah, it's like right next door.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back over to the desk. Yeah, we got Michael Noss ready to go as well. Plus, we've got banks on our mind. Market trying to hold a little bit. That PPI number didn't do much, sparked it a little bit, but relatively flat. No one cares about PPI anymore, right? I mean, the Fed's just going to be a puppet of Trump at some point here, and I can't wait for that.
It's like we get
meeting to happen.
Back-to-back really good looks on inflation, and nobody cares.
Now I got to talk to Jerome. He's got to go to Jerome soon. Invite the man over for dinner. Okay, let's go back over to the desk.
The self-proclaimed Captain Buzzkill is going to join us here this morning and have a look at why what happened 2 days ago is not necessarily a positive sign in the current conditions. I mean, with the volatility, he had a huge update, obviously. Whenever he's ready, guys, just bring in Michael Noss joining us on a Friday to tell us why we shouldn't get terribly excited here, Mr. Noss, about a 10+% up day in an otherwise downtrending market.
I feel like I'm less of a technician right now and just more of a psychologist. Like on the way down, I'm saying,
calm us down.
Calm down. We've had crashes before. Now we have a big rally. I'm like, okay, everyone calm down. Let's take a look at what's happening. But yeah, that's the plan for today.
Yeah, let's jump right in. I mean, there's a lot to understand here, I think, with this chart alone after, the huge massive update that we retest prior support. We get the gap down yesterday, and then, I mean, we do rebound a little bit late in the day. I don't know what you think as far as that rebound goes, but it's still very, very negative at the end of the day.
Yeah, and the main thing, the reason I left some indicators on the chart just so we could talk about it briefly, right? So that anchored VWAP from all-time high that I've been talking about all year, that hit as resistance before, and it's kind of right at the high of that 10% up move candle. So we need to pay attention to that, and then that shaded line is just those prior lows that we broke down from. So we need to pay attention to that. So a lot of overhead resistance, but what I did is after a giant move like this, the beauty of what I do as a technician and a quant is I've got all the data. So I can go back and I can say, okay, let's go back all through history and see what's happened in the SPY and then the Qs because it has existed before the SPY. What happened when we had 10% up moves? Was that generally a good thing? So this is kind of where the Captain Buzzkill comes in. So a lot of charts, but we'll go through them pretty quickly, and I think you guys will get the kind of message that I'm painting here to begin with. So this is the Qs, and this is the in April of 2000. So every time you see the purple line, that is the day that had a larger than a 10% up move in the market. You can see what happened there, right? We made new lows after that. Ended up being a pretty significant bottom, but not like that new low came in and we just screamed a new all-time highs. The next chart here, you can see that was another one. This was in December 2000. So these are all during the crash, the dot-com bubble crash. You can see nice little spike up, but then a new low was made again. So just Captain Buzzkill coming in. This is the big one, the next one here. And this is 2004, I think. 2001 maybe. Sorry, my charts are just a little small there, but you can see a massive 10% up move after a bit of a sell-off, and then the market continued to make new lows. So part of the idea here as we go through these is that we'll see that in downtrends, you get the largest bounces, and it doesn't necessarily mean the low is in. We're programmed for that. That's what happened in the pandemic crash. That's what happened in a lot of these things. But again, as we go through, you'll see a lot of times that this happened that it wasn't necessarily a good thing. So this next one here, this 10% up move, a little bit positive here. We did break the low of that move, but at least this happened in a little bit of an uptrend. So, but the main point is that we made new lows, and then we went sideways for a long period of time. So that was another 10% up move that happened there. Next one here is 2002. And that's a nice little gap up here on the Qs and a nice little up move that we then kind of looked at. And I don't know if people have been following the prices as we've gone, but in the year 2000, the QQQ was at $96. And now with this one, we're seeing a low of $22. So all of these 10% up moves happened on the way down. Now let's go take a look at the SPY with the next one. And this was October 2008. A nice 10% up move after a gap up, and the day positive, or the day prior was positive as well. Still, right, more downside, and then again sideways chop, and a pretty significant downside. You're talking about another 20% from here. And then this last one was on the chart prior, but this was also in October 2008. So you can see the new lows made after. So sorry to come in and ruin everyone's Friday, but doesn't necessarily mean that that wasn't the low. It just means that a lot of evidence says that when you get a large up move like that, it's not because everybody thinks that that's the end of the bear market and everything's good going forward. It just, you get large up moves generally clustered with large down moves, and you get those in downtrends. You notice every single time, and this is every one of the Qs and the SPY have made a 10% up move. You notice they were all in bear markets. They were all in really bad bear markets. So it shows that you don't get 10% up moves when things are positive. You get 10% up moves, in my opinion, when you have a lot of short covering. When people have been short, the market's been going down for a long period of time, some bit of good news comes out, and then short covering happens. But yeah, in pretty much all of those cases except one, new lows were made before new highs were made. So that has me a little bit cautious. I'm going to continue to stick to my game plan. I'm going to continue to use the support and resistance I've seen on the chart. But yeah, kind of brings down the mood a little bit, doesn't it, when you go back in history and look at what happened?
I mean, we can also, I think, take the positive out of this in the sense that a couple things stand out here to me. One is these were all very, very different catalysts behind why the market was down so much to begin with. And the second is, yes, they made new lows, but it wasn't like we went another, 15, 20, 25% on any of those charts that we just looked like. yes, there's a potential to, roll over, maybe touch a new low, kind of hang out there for a little bit. But maybe what this does mean is that there is an opportunity here to, as you said, kind of go sideways and consolidate a bit.
Yeah, and I think your best point there was that this is a completely different, this is completely man-made correction, right? All of these other corrections, you look at the dot-com bubble in 2008, these were giant economic events that really, really hurt not just the market, but the overall economy. This is something that was made via a stroke of a pen and could be removed, as we saw, via a stroke of a pen. So it makes me a little bit more positive that, we saw that the bond market forced the president's hand and he broke. So if we start to go back down again, maybe that will happen again. But it's just one of those, you just have to study history and you have to say, okay, don't FOMO in, I think is the main lesson. There's a lot of people out there I saw on Twitter and I was talking to traders. They're like, oh, I really missed the bottom. And I just wanted to go, okay, maybe not. Maybe you haven't missed the bottom. Maybe there's more bottom to come. Just whatever you do, make sure you're not chasing things into new highs here. You have some sort of plan to get back in the market.
I think a lot of people struggle with that very thing. If they're not within a couple of ticks of the lowest price on a down move, it's the end of the world. And at the end of the day, you're going to have time and you're going to, patience is key here at the end of the day.
Yeah, we're still down, 10, 12% from all-time highs. So even if that was the low and we just chop around here like a lot of the charts have said, yeah, you've got tons of time to get back in and 10% to all-time highs. And then generally speaking, all of these, if you're looking at the year 2000 here and then 2008, all of these times, the best time to buy is when the market would made a new all-time high. So, a lot of time to get in. Certainly don't FOMO in. Whatever you do, make sure you have a plan. It would be very unfortunate to buy after a 10% up move and then have that make new lows, even if they're just a little bit new lows or temporary new lows.
I think we found the positive. We'll stick with that anyways. Not necessarily killing any buzzes, but have a great weekend. Michael Noss, we'll see you on Monday.
I'll see you on Monday.
Yes, sir. We'll see you then, Michael. And, if we go sideways, one of the things that I'll be watching in the event that we don't hold sideways is keep an eye on the VIX, because as things have been consolidating, the VIX has been consolidating as well at the 40 level. So the way I see it, if we run away from that level, a big trend up, I kind of think you know what that means. Maybe we're headed for another one of those bad days. But if the VIX breaks down underneath 40, that's worth watching. I feel like, can we come to my chart for a quick little second? No, if we stay inside of this range, that just might confirm that you're a little bit more sideways and adjust your trading accordingly. Right? Like a little more range bound, a little more support and resistance, maybe not so aggressively trying to join and add in trends, whatever that might be. But if we lose the bid on the VIX and start trending underneath that, then it's like, okay, well, let's go. Let's find some breakout trades. Let's find some continuation longs, that kind of a thing. And if it breaks 45 to the upside, you're thinking in the other direction. So always going to have this up. But it is the most calm it's been. Obviously, you see the market going sideways. The VIX is as calm as it's been. For sure. Bitcoin settled down right at like 81, 82. So you have a lot that is leaning towards possibly being flat, but that doesn't mean it can't change. You want to make sure you have some signs out there that'll confirm that we're starting to go again. That's why we continue to have the VIX up. Because when it's going ham, you kind of know that you got to adjust your trading plan a little bit. Like, the whole wider stop, hold for the move when you're getting some crazy, crazy price action, which we have seen in the VIX.
Yeah, I think Michael's right. I mean, I've already, but even before we had him on there, I was looking at that bottom again and saying, I think we get back there and that would be a good opportunity to get in there and buy. I mean, the stroke of the pen, that was key, right? I mean, as we had mentioned before, great financial crisis, we have the housing bubble, which was obviously every single thing was man-created. I mean, it's all created by man. So it's not like this is the only one that's man-made.
I looked at the Randy thing.
Oh, we're getting like some religious thing here, created by man-made. But this was just an instant, it can be corrected. And we'll see if it does. I don't think there is going back at this point, right? I mean, the negotiations have to happen. And when they do, then we keep our ear to the ground for those breaking stories. But the market's getting hit right now, back down to the downside. So we were just up. I mean, when we started with Michael, come on, Michael. When we started with him, we were up 1% or so. and we were talking about breaking the top. Remember, we were at NASDAQ point, come over here, Fabian, 0.91, right there, the NASDAQ. Now you're back basically to zeros again, and we'll wait to see where these bottom wicks take us. So, yeah, I mean, if volatility picks up, we know what's going on. We got to watch the Treasury market, as we said there. That turned for Trump, and he had to come out and say the market had the yips there. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening here today. I'm imagining that JP's probably giving some back. Actually, not really. Bank's not doing anything here early. So let's go over to Adair and see if we get some ideas on the upgrades and downgrades.
Things off here with HSBC Securities upgrading DocuSign here, the $70 price target. American Express, which reports earnings next Thursday before the bell, got an upgrade this morning from BofA Securities. They're up about 2% right now. OG&E with an upgrade from Argus, and Scotiabank here making a couple different moves when it comes to these energy plays. First, they upgraded EOG Resources, but then they downgraded both Chevron and Occidental. Both stocks are up on the morning so far. So Scotiabank's making some moves in the energy realm. We have Enphase getting a downgrade here by TD Cowen. And last but not least, Capri getting downgraded by Telsey Advisory Group. They've been in the news a lot lately with regards to this potential Prada acquisition of Versace. Back to you.
Versace.
Yeah. The good news is it's hard to have really bad inflation when oil prices are going down. The bad news is if you own oil stocks, they're really doing poorly right now. So, you know, it's like you can't win them all. And oil futures have been looking pretty bad. It's Oxy which is standing out there. You can see oil futures. Little bit of a rebound, but Oxy right back into the lows. I guess they're up 1% today, which might be a reflection of just how far it's been down. But this could not get out of its own way today. This is, I'd hate to think what would happen if this were to break that low on the daily. But Oxy taking it on the chin. I haven't found a place that I want to get any more energy yet. I mean, at some point this year, the plan is to be getting some more XLE, but just nothing signifying that. The more they go tit for tat with China, demand becomes a concern or continues to be a concern, and then all of a sudden these names are under a lot of pressure. But Oxy, it had a really tight range that it's a wide gap if it could break that 37. Just so little volume on this in the pre-market. A little surprised given how active it's been. But they're all bad. I mean, I'm not a buyer of Chevron right now. I'm not a buyer of XLE right now until things settle down. Like, a lot of things gave back that bounce that we had, or some part of the bounce we had. Very few gave it all back. The energy names typically gave it all back yesterday, showing their weakness.
Yeah, Chevron pretty weak. It's bad. Yeah, if you look at a monthly chart here for Chevron, you're right back into these highs again. So we'll have to wait to see if we can support 130. Yeah. This is 2014. So like, if you just held Chevron, and this is what we say, like, and I hold stock all the time. I mean, that's pretty much all I do. I don't really sell at the top too often, that's for sure. But if you've held Chevron now for 10 years, all you've done is collect dividends. But I mean, that's the top. Obviously, if you've been buying down into here, you've had a great average price. I mean, that was 60, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 150, 180. So, you know, it has the pedigree to get right back up there as well. And you can see XOM, I only looked at Chevron, but it's the same kind of highs. Actually, XOM, I get like $28 down there when we were going red on oil. What a run that was. I noticed AXP there, and again, talk about no volume, 20,000 shares. I can't even show you anything here in the pre-market, but American Express, we looked at it before. It's one of the better PEs on the market for credit cards, and you know, if the American consumer is strong, then this name should continue to work. I mean, again, all you're worried about is, I mean, AXP, a little higher net worth client there, customer. So I could see them, you know, sort of weathering the storm maybe better than some of the other credit cards where you might get some more delinquencies. But at the end of the day, you know, you're looking for everything down here again. So I would say, you know, get into AXP if we do a dip, fine. It's the credit card that I like the best out of all the companies. We sort of did the look last time, but low volume today on many, many names. We had sort of looked at, I'll just show you and we'll go back to the desk. There's Oxy. So we're getting more bids here this morning than sells. So generally speaking, that's been a good look on the market early when we get bids, but the market right now just turned, unfortunately, red. So there's the NASDAQ now red, the ES holding on for life, support right now at 0.6. NASDAQ just turned red. We just moved 1%. Remember I said that? I was like, the S&P yesterday moved 1% every 10 minutes, and NASDAQ just did it there. So let's wait to see what happens. Right now, it's all buys. It's gold, it's oil, some pharma there with Pfizer. But other than that, man, get ready.
Also, too, for anyone that's interested, probably not many, Mullen is not up 100%. Mullen just reverse split.
What?
That's effective today. Sorry, I was just there was a news on
Mullen.
Just looking at that. But if you're just that's a joke on the stock or anything like that. But it'll be. Oh, I thought it was at 4 cents yesterday. It looks like it's opening up at $3. All right.
It was three or four.
It was 3.6 cents. So I guess it's already down 16%. Anyways, just don't be alarmed if
that makes sense.
Like it's not up a ton. It's actually technically down on that. But yeah, as Sean said, market already threatening to go red as we speak. Let's see what the futures are doing over with Sharif.
All right, guys. Should I go, Brando? Yeah, go. 53.02, guys, is where we closed out yesterday on the ES June contract. So we did defend 5,300. We're right there right now. We're at 53.08, so we're doing our darndest to try to stay above that 5,300 level. If we fail, sadly, the overnight low is about 100 points from where we are right now, so we're going to have to use 5,200 as resistance, the overnight high. We're using 5,200 as support, 5,300, sorry, Brendo, as resistance.
I might have jumped the gun.
It's all good.
Okay. That's the watch list link. If you haven't done so yet, it's in the description. Top link will get you there. All you need is your email address. You know the spiel. Sign up for that. It's absolutely free for you. As always, banks kick off earnings season. We'll get into a few things more exciting coming up here in the next couple of weeks. But to kick things off, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley leading the way here this morning. There's WFC back downside here to the tune of 1.4%. JP Morgan back downside here as well to the tune of about 0.4%. So initial moves were positive, but we're fading off here.
Yeah, well, it feels like Sean was saying, the market's starting to turn here. So I'll review JP Morgan, the biggest of these banks, guys. Earnings per share, they did quite well. $5.07. That beat easily what the street was looking for $4.61. Profit, guys, increased 9% year over year. They're taking home $14 2/3 billion. That's a profit. Revenue came in higher than expectations. Brendo at $46 billion. The street was looking for 44 and change. Revenue growth continues nicely, 8% year over year. The money came from here. Strong equity trading performance was a major driver, guys. Higher volatility and geopolitical uncertainty, though, boosted activity on the trading desk. IPO and M&A, sadly, though, advisory segments are under pressure from macroeconomic headwinds. And your friend Jamie Dimon highlighting the risk of tariffs, of course, higher deficit, higher asset prices. But the firm is preparing for what he calls a wide range of scenarios. Expect ongoing divergence as well between the trading heavy and the advisory heavy investment banks. So the ones that are dealing with the trading desk as opposed to the mergers and acquisitions like Goldman and Morgan Stanley could do a little bit better. And JPM has strength in trading with a cautious macroeconomic view.
It was good to see the deal making number and the deal-making pipeline, them reference that specifically starting to come back as we've seen a little bit more active on the IPO side of things as well. This is starting to accelerate, however, guys, back to the downside here.
The IPO thing, well, I think we'll wait and see because we still haven't heard anything from Klarna, which was supposed to price this month, and I get it. Whatever, they're being smart. So we have heard not a peep out of that, and we're almost halfway through April. But yeah, JP Morgan doing much better than Morgan Stanley. Morgan with a big beat too. It's like, hey, look at us, we beat. But JP, it needs to, we were talking about yesterday, that 200 period moving average. That's what I want to see hold today. We've seen the banks do the ebb and flow and they get the earnings call in the morning and you kind of want to come back to it after the opening range to see what's really going on. Because we've seen it sometimes gap up and then flush at the open, or it looks like it's weak and all of a sudden catches a monster bid at the open. But it's that 235, well, it's 230 to 235 area up here. As long as we can close, maybe even break out that top, that's what would get me a little bit more bullish on the space. In terms of where the weakness might be, like you can see Morgan Stanley's chart is distinctly different, just as good of a beat, and they get 2% punishment to the downside. Well, that March support that we just broke down underneath the 110, I think that's a pretty spicy line to look at. If there is a rally that gets faded, Morgan's actually got a level up there. I don't know, like part of me is like pops and fades have been the theme of the week, so that's kind of where my head is at. But Morgan has that 110 level that if we do get up there and JP can't break it out, I just feel like these guys get punished more. That's simply it. Like if I see JP at that resistance, I probably am thinking in my head short Morgan Stanley, not JP Morgan.
All right, so for me, the move already just happened. I mean, I wrote down on the sticky note right here that we were looking for JP Morgan between 226 and 228 long. Thought it was a good quarter, some nice action here in the pre-market. But again, when we write this down, yeah, things have changed. We were talking about this up here at 229, 228, 230, and there's the dip down into 225. So we're right here right now. You know, if the market was open, I think I would take a shot at this level now, but, you know, we'll have to wait to see where it flushes now into the lows. You know, we were always going to use maybe 225 as our out if we were able to get long between 226 and 227 as we wrote down. But at the end of the day, a little bit of volume coming through. Now we turn red on the stock. It's never great when an earnings report goes pretty nicely on the release up here to 236. And again, like Sharif mentioned, beats everywhere, 14 billion in profit. Like, come on. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I know this is a gold mine, but at the end of the day, we're still, you know, suffering due to market tailwinds, right? So, or headwinds. So at the end of the day right now, I think you got to let it settle. I mean, yesterday's bottoms, like Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, because we've seen the numbers, they're all in a better space today than they were yesterday because now we've lifted the veil and we see what's underneath. And you know, things are working well for them. We didn't hear too much moving forward. Again, anything can drop. The conference calls are on 220 to 221 right now. Looks like a good dip buy opportunity, but I could also buy this open. And yeah, I just want to see what happens. Like that drop from 229 to, that's $4, you know, on very limited volume. Like right here, the spread is 60 cents. 220, that means, see, it's just bumping now. It's still 50 cents. 50s by 99s. So at the end of the day, you're going to have to wait for liquidity to pop in here. And I think that will give us a good opportunity. So I'm looking to buy JP Morgan today. And we said this yesterday, instead of picking one bank, you could just pick them all, you know, and trade with an XLF. There's many different, there's KRE, KBE, there's different ETFs for different regions and different sponsorships. This is the XLF. Their XLF is what, Invesco, Select Spider. So, you know, there's different management fees associated with some of these different bank ETFs. But yeah, XLF, anything down here, again, 45-ish would be pretty good for me. So I just think it's better now that we know where the banks are. And yeah, I like JP Morgan, and I think we'll be buying that. We just got to get some volume into the name.
Let's talk about China. Back to the upside, they come out swinging once again. As we were talking a little bit off camera, as you were mentioning, though, basically saying that's it. They're not going to, you know, come back with anything, even if the U.S. does respond once again. 2.5% here for FXI this morning. Nice gap to the upside. Hey, they found Jack Ma again. He's back in the company on an operational basis once more.
Sorry, I had to wait till the ovations subsided there, Brenda. Let's talk about what's going on. So China hiked tariffs on U.S. imports to an eye-watering 125% from 84% in retaliation to the U.S. increasing theirs to 145%. And as you mentioned, China's finance ministry now declared current tariff levels rendered basically economically meaningless, threatening to ignore further increases. You have Goldman Sachs cutting their China GDP forecast down to 4%. Analysts are estimating about 10 to 20 million Chinese workers are actually tied to U.S.-bound export industry. So the case here has been it will hurt them more than it will hurt the United States. Key statements here by China's finance ministry says this will become a joke in the history of the world economy. President Xi also chiming in. He met with a Spanish Prime Minister yesterday. He said there's no winner in a tariff war, but Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent saying China is the most imbalanced economy in modern history. This escalation is a loser for them, so we'll keep an eye out on that, Brenda.
Yeah, there will be a deal at some point or some sort of agreement that comes from this. It's a matter of time. But back higher here again, guys, for all of these.
Just as we were talking about the semis, just to remember what that clarification they made. People have said, oh, AMD strong, it's going higher. So keep in mind, it was TXN and Texas Instruments and Intel that are both down because they don't get an exemption, and AMD is relatively, and Qualcomm, I believe, do. So you're seeing them a little bit stronger. As far as the actual Chinese names go, or ADRs, well, BABA did eventually move. It doesn't look like much because of the drop that it had yesterday, but it is starting to slide down with the rest of the market. I'm thinking the same as we did. Like yesterday's trade was looking for 110 to 111. It's just, obviously it never got there, and I didn't actually get the short until it consolidated underneath the low of the day. This time, if we break higher and start to test afternoon and prior day resistance, I'll just short it up there or try to join the trend a little bit earlier. Like if it does something like, zoom in, if it does something like this, where it just has that gentle upward trend inside of a range and then breaks it, then I want to try to get in somewhere a little bit tighter. The topping tail candle was an entry we talked about yesterday. The trend break maybe underneath VWAP, but I want to be fading the pop here into yesterday's highs on Alibaba. The other one, more actual price related. I mean, NEO turned yesterday at 350. Not the time, but the actual price, like $3.50. And that's been a bit of a level for NEO down here underneath its 52-week low as well. So if it gets to 350 and does the same pattern, I would look for that as a secondary. But it's going to be BABA first at yesterday's highs.
All right, banks going lower right now. JP Morgan now down 1.2. I mean, look at the market. The market is bleeding. It's funny because we were just up 1%. Now you're down 0.43. And we talked about the move yesterday in the S&P 500, 1% every 10 minutes. All right, so FXI bleeding again. I think you just go short. I think it's a short the market situation today. I'm not looking for any dip buys in FXI. Although, I mean, if it comes in, and you'll get some great opportunities to do that. 31.50 to me looks like a good opportunity there where we closed out at yesterday. But I'd rather go short. Just looking at this chart, it's starting to push down right now. Go short using 32.60 as your high. So for me, I think the market, I mean, we texted out, we put it out early that I was feeling bearish there on Twitter, and we were feeling bearish when the market was up 1%, so we're feeling a little bit even more bearish now that we're down 0.3, giving us confirmation now that we're underneath VWAP. So I think we'll stay underneath VWAP on FXI, and I would just play that. I play short the pops in all markets today, pretty much everywhere. So FXI, I choose you instead of any individual names. But yeah, the other interesting name is, and we'll talk about it if it starts to go. We just talked about DIY having that huge move down. I don't know what that was all about, but at the end of the day, it's all the way back up. So it's up now 9%. So whether or not this breaks $4 or not would be something to watch out for. We had Jeff Mendo made a guest appearance here yesterday. So OTC markets, I mean, most of you will have access to this. So that would be one of the bigger names moving around. And then what's the Temu one? It's not JD.
Pinduoduo.
Oh, yeah, no, Pinduoduo. Yeah. PDD. But I want to look TCEHY, sorry, because we were on. This is just Tencent. So again, one of the biggest names in China right here as well, Tencent. We don't talk about this enough, but this is also fallen in. So, just looks like it's a big tech company over there. Yeah, again, bouncing off the 200 period, right? Some of these Chinese names look pretty strong at some of these levels. So I would think that, again, any dip buy opportunities, maybe if you like China back into there. I say you just stay with FXI if you're going to invest, unless you know something about these companies. But lots of opportunity to make money here. More interesting to me is like Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin holds that 75, 76,000 like perfectly, and now back up to 82. Look at the market, man. The market's just continuing to bleed here. So, I mean, we had wrote down here, like imagine that we had written down the TQs to go short, and unfortunately, this is already done. So we had Intel short, the TQ short, and Apple short, and then we had JP Morgan long, which is already way blown through that level. So, yeah, all the ideas today were short, and the short is just starting just a little bit too early for us. Now you're down 0.6, 0.7. It's extending the nastiness there. Like we wrote down TQ short when we should have just taken the TQ short. There's 47 right there. We were already writing this down. Boom to the downside. Oh man, could be nasty here, but let's be patient. It's only 9:15. Remember, the U.S. imbalances are going to come out on the Nasdaq at 9:25. So for right now, MP, there's nothing on here, man. Barrick Gold, like it's looking fine with low volume, but someone's selling again here today, and yeah. Oh, people still talking about Mullen. So yeah. What goes up must come down. Neil looked at this. It was down. So when Neil called this up,
so bad.
It was $3, and we were wondering what's it even doing at $3. That's too low. Well, now it's at $1.80. So congratulations if you held Mullen. You split 100 to 1 at 30 cents, at 3 cents. Sorry, you got up to $3, and now you're chopped in half again there today. When will somebody step in and stop giving people the opportunity to lose money? Mullen should be delisted probably anytime soon, I would guess.
It would be delisted a year ago.
I think it'll be listed probably soon.
It's going to be the last time. It has to be the last time.
I don't know. But okay, let's go back. I mean, good luck to everybody long Mullen. I'm not trying to throw water on or cold water on the stock. It's just
doing it itself.
It just dropped 50%.
Yeah, I mean,
on no news other than the split that we've already seen 10 times. I should actually look up how many times it's split before we say 10 times. I feel like we've talked about it at least 4 or 5.
Close enough.
Yeah, man, the Apple play is pretty huge right now, but we're not in it. So thanks for commenting that. But we'll look back. We'll look back at stock when they open up. The market, like I said, 1% every 10 minutes. So give it 10 minutes.
Hitting about 0.5%, I guess, here for all three at this point. Let's talk about crypto here. Holding up, I mean, if there is relative strength, there's 3% right now for IBIT. BTC holding up a little bit better than most, coming on the back of an $800 million ETF-specific route that if you go back to the overall market sell-off, we've bounced back from pretty nicely here, back to about 46.50, 47 here for IBIT, holding up better than the equities at least.
Absolutely, it is. It's up 2.85%, Bitcoin that is. And what really caught my attention, there's no specific catalyst today for Bitcoin, but what really caught my attention is this chart, guys. A beautiful looking double bottom. This is the 4-hour on BTC at 75,000. One of the areas that we have been talking about for a long time where we could find technical support, that is the breakout area where we got that move in the fall. It's also the area that we rejected off in late 2021. So that 75,000 seems to be coming into play again, Brendo.
Thoughts here, guys, if the market does continue downside. I mean, we are starting to roll over here, but nowhere near as much.
I think a double top in MAR that we're not going to probably get to because that's now just a little bit too far away. So, look, as long as we're holding and looking weak, if Bitcoin loses 81,000 again, then it might just be, let me just zoom in because those levels aren't going to matter. Then we just look at yesterday's range top, like 1210 in here, because that's actually reasonable that you can get a pop and fade into that. Looking over specifically at IBIT, so that's just MAR, which I prefer. Looking at IBIT, like you're already breaking down from that squeeze high. Just call it at $47 on IBIT. I forget exactly what the price ended up being over there on Bitcoin, but the 47 level. As long as we're under that, I want to be short MAR. It just moves more. It'll give you more. It'll give you more percentage move than Bitcoin will. And as long as we stay under 47, I want to be short MAR. But we're not going to get that double. It was like 1280 a double top or something like that. Have to look at 1210 for MAR instead to short.
Here's Sergio Garcia yesterday, the Ronald McDonald look.
Yeah, buddy.
Right there. So, you know, when you've got millions and millions in the bank, you can look like this. There it is. Shout out to my guy Sergio yesterday. I saw him on the course and was like, you know, that's when you know you're just out there having a great, good old time. The Ronald McDonald look there for Sergio Garcia, also from Spain. Spanish colors.
It works both ways.
Yeah, man, no, it's great. All right, so yeah, we talked about the hold here on Bitcoin. You know, nothing's going to be, you know, holding today. I don't know. I hope it does. You do have the 200 period moving average. That's something that we've looked at many times here, and I like to let it settle down so we don't have 200 periods here. We got to go from yesterday because, again, when you look at Bitcoin, it's a 24-hour market. So we'll let it settle down a little bit. This is a little bit of a more true line down here, and that's going to be the 200 on the 5 minute. So we'll look at 45.80 or so coming back into play right there. $46 for a dip buy opportunity on crypto. Why not? I think dip buys are worth it in case you do get, you know, just sort of like, all right, we're down 2%, time to get back up. So I think you can scalp out of Bitcoin today for sure. And I would start buying IBIT around 40 $46. So that's my area there for some kind of strength. So we'll figure it out. We'll get 46 bucks in on IBIT, and we'll see what happens there with a dropout probably around 45.50. If you come back into yesterday's levels, I mean, it's a buy down here too, but how far do you want to average into this? I don't think crypto absolutely tanks. I mean, it kind of tanks on news, right? And I don't really see too many people talking about BTC right now at all. We did look yesterday at Ripple and how that was doing. We could have a quick little look. We have a little bit of extra time right now. Let me just refresh this and see what's going on in the general markets here. So Bitcoin, the last 24 hours, flat. Ethereum, whatever, man, down another 2%. That seems to want to go lower. Solana seems to have found a base around 110. We'll see if that can hold now at 118. And then XRP, we looked at this yesterday. The $2 level for XRP is pretty nice. So if we, I don't even know what this chart kind of looks like, but we've been holding too. So these areas, what just happened there? These areas, $2 right here, look to be pretty solid. Obviously, we get a dip down into 150 there on the horrendous day, but $2 looks to be a pretty decent level there for XRP. So those of you looking at that, I know Nimitz in the chat, and I know there's some other people that are part of XRP Army that really like that stock. So trade it. I mean, I'm waiting for some ETF announcements over there, and we'll wait to see if anything can happen with XRP.
This portion of the show brought to you by our friends over at Forex VIM. Are you tired of staring at charts all day? What if a robot could trade for you? Meet Forex VIM, an AI-powered trading bot that scans markets 24/7, executes trades automatically, and even manages risk for you. No emotions, no guesswork, just precision trading on autopilot. It works on MT4, specializes in gold trading, and comes with easy setup and customer support. Want stress-free trading? Try Forex VIM today. Visit forexvim.com or click the link in the description now. We'll continue along here. Tesla hanging out here this morning, a little bit stronger than most. At one point here, we are starting to roll over as well, but coming off a day where we held higher versus the huge up day, but still within the range.
So the tariff war continuing to affect Tesla, obviously, as it has been for a while. So Tesla, guys, has stopped accepting new orders for its Model S and Model X vehicles in China on both its official website and its WeChat mini app. These models are manufactured in the US, but they're also imported into China, which obviously makes them directly affected by the tariff escalation. But the sales footprint here is a bit more modest. So Tesla only sold about 1,550 Model X and then 311 Model S vehicles in China, Brendo, during 2024. That's per the China Auto Dealers Association, which signals a limited demand even prior to the suspension. The Model 3 and the Model Y, though, they're produced in Shanghai and they remain unaffected, obviously, by the tariffs.
Unbelievable numbers. Once again, not a lot to look at here so far this morning, guys, but still huge range for the week.
Yeah, the range for the week is it's impressive. We probably don't get there today, but I still feel like all roads are leading to 220 on Tesla, pun intended. But for today, look, is what it is. Like Mara, Baba, Apple, AMD, Intel. Those are the names that I'm looking at today for the primarily, and a little bit of NVIDIA. Oddly enough, NVIDIA is the only one that I'm considering a bid on. We have NVIDIA bounce, but that's way down there. So Tesla, while I think we could go for a little bit of trend down action, I think it'd be more of a join the trend type of play like it did at the open, where you tanked, caught a bounce, did the old consolidation rollover, and then when you join the trend on Tesla, you get the big move. First resistance is way up top here, $7 higher, so pretty much forget about that. I think if you get a bounce off 240 and we're trending down, play that to maybe work into some kind of a short. I double checked to see if we had a bad enough down day, whether we get that Rivian $10 level. Seems that we might not. So whatever day Rivian gets to 10, I think I'll be looking for a buy there, just as we're talking about EVs. And this is the reason, just so everyone understands, like, why would you want to buy Rivian? Randy's not here today, but every time it's gotten, call it underneath about 1050, 1060, there's been really good bounces on this stock. We saw it this week. And then when you look at the daily chart, whether it's at that 10.5 or just the 10 even in general, there's some buying down there on that stock. So we get a really bad down day. The EV name that I'd look for a bid on would be here, a heck of a lot lower though.
Remember when Intel was at $20? That was nice. So that's where we're looking for Intel. I know we're going to talk about NVIDIA in a minute. I just wanted to show you guys that Intel just cratering right now to the downside. We only have 30 seconds until the imbalances. I just want to indicate that I see Joe sometimes trading this TSLL. So this is another, not sometimes, I think all the time, I think. This is another, good tool there to look for Tesla, especially if you're a little bit, not afraid of the higher prices, but you want to get a little more shares in. Obviously, this name will move. TSLL is a 2X for Tesla. So that's a good reason to look at this name if you want to get some aggressive trading in. Tesla 2X bull right there for TSLL. So definitely have a look there. Similar to why I trade the TQQs, just it's 3X and it's less than the Qs. So that's the price wise. So there we go, man. The imbalances came out and very disappointing. There's absolutely nothing. I don't know what this DMM is, but you can see here, I'm just going to go over here just to show you. You could see, 5-6 million shares right there, penny stock on that. This soon is a very same penny stock, and this FMTO penny stock. So right now, all the top names on here are all garbage, including probably these ones as well. I'm not seeing anything of any significance. I just saw Apple there with 140,000 shares. That's like a fat finger mistake for many traders on this stock, it seems like. So I would not blink at these imbalances. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Apple down 2%. That short was great up there. We wanted it, but the move happened a little bit too early. All right, let's go back over the desk and talk about NVIDIA quickly.
We were just talking about the response that could come potentially today after China responded last night, if anyone missed it. Let's talk some semiconductors here. Still green here for NVIDIA to the tune of about 1%, 0.9 anyways. Some of the other ones I noticed not as positive, but first time this week, at least, we can sit here that, there's Intel down now. It's first time this week here. Hey, if you're just joining us, it's Friday.
Friday, Bruno.
Yeah, first time this week we can actually sit here and say NVIDIA a little bit of relative strength.
Yeah, and it's a good look for the semis today because Taiwan Semi, the biggest maker of the semis in the world, Brendo, reported their Q1 sales, and they did quite well. March sales of $8.67 billion. That's way ahead of the 8.46. Q1 revenue came in at $25.52 billion, topping the 25.31 that the street was looking for. The year-over-year sales jumped, guys, 39% in Q1, so a good look there. Analyst forecasts are mixed, but Q1 EPS is being forecasted to be about $2.06. They will report earnings next Thursday, so these are just preliminary numbers, guys. We'll get the official numbers next Thursday. Strong Q1 performance likely aided by AI-driven demand and customer pull-ins to get ahead of the tariffs. So people are buying, worried that the tariffs are going to increase prices. Wedbush analyst Matt Bryson reiterated an outperform rating, citing sustained demand in advanced semiconductors.
A couple minutes to go here. Remember, 10 o'clock this morning, Michigan consumer sentiment, inflation portion to that. Best of luck on a Friday.
Sure. So NVIDIA, it's up 1%, but then some of the chip names are doing different from the others that we highlighted, TXN and Intel to the downside, and the others actually doing a little bit okay. If we do fill the gap in, or at least attempt to fill the gap in again, that breakaway price here, it's about 102. We didn't really get all the way there yesterday. I think if we make a move down there, that's about where I'd look for a reversion long. Just the trend break was pretty good on NVIDIA. Just the way that it traded, like the two bottoming tail candles and a trend break. There were plenty of ways to have gotten into it when it finally broke that trend. But that's the look That's the look. I mean, I'm thinking shorts today, so we have to get a very particular look down around that 102 level where you broke out from on the, what are we calling it, the pause, right? So the pause at 102. If we get there, look for a revert. Would rather be shorting in other chip names. We've already mentioned Intel, and the volume weighted average price might have to be the jam. I like Mullen for a bit of a fade. I have Apple. Yeah, we're not going to get to whatever. But I had Apple continuation off of any of our, either this level, 192, and then 195, 94.5, but you're so far away. I think you have to start looking at VWAP for a lot of these if you're going to come right back in. So you're under a lot of pressure so far. There was a super chat. Joe just mentioned, are you going to short Mullen today. I paid for the locates just to see if they're ridiculously cheap. Here at Real Trading, I thought you might actually have to pay more than a cent per share. They were like still 0.00 something per share. Did pay for them. Liquidity will probably pick up. It's pretty bad for now. I think it'll pick up after the open. I'll have it up to see if it's setting up well. But right now, I'm going to be looking at Mullen at the open. Sorry, Mara at the open. Apple, still going to be paying attention to Intel. But those are going to be the big ones, at least for myself here. We'll see if Alibaba's so far away from resistance, I'm not sure we'll get that one either. That's fallen like a rock. But the bell is brought to you by Worksport, WKSP on the NASDAQ. Shout out to them. Final bell of the week. Let's get it started, Adara.
All right, thank you, Adara. We'll see. Yeah, we're going to try to be patient today. I feel like a mental break day today in the market. I mean, it's been a hectic week. We'll see if we can get some settling down of the markets right now. So, all right, Apple, nice little move early here off the jump. Went down to 185, up to 187 right now. I mean, typical kind of movements. If we get into the 200 period, that's now 190. We had written down earlier 193. I mean, I don't know if we'll get up to there either, but there it goes. Nice move there. NVIDIA was leading the charge in the pre-market to the downside, but it's still up, and there it goes. Nice bump again for NVIDIA, one of the only chip names, as we had mentioned there, to the upside. AMD was also cruising a little bit as well, and that one could get going, and it's actually even up more, my bad, than NVIDIA right now.
Intel's cratering.
Yeah, what a surprise that is. There goes Intel right now. Is it going to halt or something? Yeah, wow. Big move down there for Intel. Absolutely flushing. That's a nightmare of a stock, I tell you that much. Down 6% today. Where is that bottom, though? I mean, maybe we just, that's what I was going to say. Maybe we just, this is the one stock we are saying, 17, 18, doesn't matter. I mean, anywhere around here, 18 probably will have some bids on it. So I'm almost thinking about going long there. That seems like a big move. I was not expecting that much of a move down. Let's just check out
There wasn't an imbalance on that.
There was no imbalances, unless it came late. I mean, I don't want to say there was nothing. Google also holding bid right now, up 0.7, so that probably goes. Market trying to figure itself out early. I'm not in anything. We were waiting for Intel. I guess we can cancel that rip. That's not going to happen. And then we wanted the TQQs up near that 47 mark, but that's where we fell off of already, so that's what we're waiting for. Now you have the 200, maybe even the 50-period moving average. Do you really want to get into a short right now? The market's just trying to figure itself out. Maybe on a low of daybreak, you can consider trading this, and then you hope for the short just to rain all day. Maybe that is something. So that would be a 45 break right there on Texas Instruments on TQQs. So the futures breaking low of day, I think that's a decent short, and then you just hold the bag. So that could be something that we wind up getting ourselves into. I think we'll probably get interested in that if we break 45 lows.
Yeah, speaking of breaking lows, I mean, Mara broke the low of the day, so that looks like it's continuing its pattern of fading. Try to get it back in front of 12, which also happens to be VWAP. Alibaba, okay, this wick's real. This wick's not, that one is. Alibaba about to go red as this, no pop and fade either. It looks like we're just trending down, so I don't want to hit lows. We're still looking to see if we can't get a little bit of a pop that we can work ourselves into. The thing that's moving up is actually Apple, at least that I'm looking at here. Of all the names I have up to watch at the open, it's Apple, which is going higher, which could bring it into 190 and the volume weighted average price. So again, nothing too crazy just yet, but Apple with a decent chance of getting in here for us to get our first of the day, I guess.
Yeah, same. We're looking for the TQs here to go short. That's what we're looking for. Good call on Apple. I mean, really like Apple at those levels. All right, so Mara, M-A-R-A is the symbol. Yeah, nice move down as well, but Bitcoin holding, Mara going down. So this could be a good, decent buy opportunity as Mara looks to hover around $10. Like that low was crazy. 1180 right now from Mara coming through. I do see Robinhood hitting the scanners a little bit. I'm not sure why. Let me find out why. Okay, so probably, I guess, VWAP there. I mean, I have it all here. We have Mara hitting it as well, Hood hitting it, SMR hitting it right now to the downside as well off of the VWAP. So there's the... Oh, no, now this is... Okay, well, now I'm frozen here for some reason. But S&P 500 did take that low. We did not get short TQQs there. So, no, bounces off of 45. So that would have been a good long down there, not a short. But, all right, I got to figure out why this is frozen on my screen.
Oh, it happened. I'm back now. It was. I'm like just for a brief second. Oh, I had a brief second. My quote stopped for a little bit, but they're right back.
Quote stopped.
They're right back.
No,
they're right back.
I did not experience.
So Apple's doing basically the same thing. I am tracking Baba and, well, okay. I was going to say Baba and Mara still, but Mara just popped right back into the top. Well, okay, not the top. The pre-market lows at 1090 or 1190. Looking to see if we can't hold this one to 1210 is our out. I'm going to make sure I have a stop order covering me in there. So the first pop is looking for the fade. Worth keeping in mind, though, IBIT or Bitcoin in all of this is looking pretty strong. So if we break that 1210 clean, I just got to get out of this one. Like the market is doing not much of anything going sideways, and Bitcoin's trying to break this one out. So if we break that 1210, going to have to jump out of Mara. Still eyeballs, as I said, on Intel, Apple, and Baba. Intel was just so far out of the range that we have to let it settle down. So we break this 1210, and I'm out of Mara looking for a re-entry. And as far as Intel goes, I mean, that low, the all-time,
JP Morgan.
1760, I believe we said was the absolute bottom the other day. It's so far down at this point that the trade setup to me is going to be like a mean reversion, bottoming tail wick, take a shot at a long type of trade, or maybe even an SSR bounce. Like if it goes 10% and it hits anywhere near these lows, I might take one shot at it. But yeah, obviously at this point, I'm not chasing this short.
Yeah, good call out there, Los Polos, Hermanos, and everybody else that said, hey, Sean, you mentioned JP Morgan long, yet you know long JP Morgan. Yeah, I'm not, and I should have been. But again, we wanted to wait for some volume to kick in there and some levels to actually build out. You still have a 60-cent spread. So yeah, it is starting to go up, and yeah, we did miss it. And yeah, we did write down, I mean, I'm just confirming everything that I've already wrote down here. And I'm gonna miss trades, and that's fine, as long as you guys are looking at the sticky note. That's 226 to 228 long. That was a perfect level right there, 226. I don't have it, I should have, right there, 226. Came in, bounced off there many times, and many wins happening off 226 long right there. Congratulations, anybody that was able to grab that, not me. Again, we talk about like just doing what we say we would do and take advantage of those plays, but we didn't do it there. There's Intel, look at that, man. Some big bids right there. I just saw there at 38. So we could maybe go long here off of Intel and see if 38 holds, but here it comes right back in. Is it going to hold? Let's, I don't know how many shares to go right now on Intel. We'll try it here if we can get it, and we'll put out a stop just real quickly, man. 1834. If we break that, then we'll get out. So there we go. We're now long on Intel off of, there it goes. There was a big bid, so we actually get out immediately right there as we didn't take very many shares. That's what we were debating right there. We don't want to go long. I thought there was a bid there, but now, wow, Intel is really cratering in right now, guys.
It's going to go 10.
We should have. Yes, actually, it is going to go SSR. So yeah, good
10% down.
Yeah, good call on that one with Intel. It looks like it does want to.
Whatever the Chinese organization is, said they're not exempt.
Ooh la la, thank you,
TSLA
right there. So yeah, big move down there. Thanks, Neil, for that.
I was just telling, Sharif was asking why they were going down. I was sorry. He was just.
No, that's okay. I didn't know if you were going to tell that to everybody, but...
Oh, yeah. So the CSIA, I believe it is, they've said that Intel and TXN are not exempt, and that's one of the reasons why they were gapped down. Why it's doing this parabolic move, I don't know why it's this bad, but just before we get to Intel and 18 even, Mara broke that 1210. We were in front of VWAP. It broke out the high. If I get in again, either I see something happen distinctly on IBIT to move the trend, or we're back doing a topping tail candle. But Intel is certainly... Like, look at the bleed. It's 8% now, and if it gets to 10% and these lows, I think you know the drill. Going to take that shot for bounce play. I believe Adara has news, I think.
Talk here about CDT. This is Conduit Pharmaceuticals, about 12% short float for this one, announced that it filed a patent. I also want to mention here, just to go over that story. So yeah, we did have the Chinese Semiconductor Industry Association. You could read more about this on their watch list. But basically, the whole story here is if you have any manufacturing in Taiwan, so companies like Qualcomm and AMD, you will, at this point, looks like you are going to be exempt from some of these tariffs. But if you have basically all U.S. production, that's when you're going to get into trouble with these tariffs. That's why TXN and INTC are going to be in trouble there. Back to you.
It just seems like way bigger of a, yeah, when I first
The market's
read that,
rallying here nicely.
just didn't think it was
Look at JP Morgan. Yeah, go ahead, Neil, sorry.
No, I just didn't think it was going to be this big of a deal. But the market's rallying big. Apple's near that resistance. I'm not going to stare down Intel the entire way. I have it on another level too. We can cross that bridge when it gets there. It's not quite there. Apple is screaming into yesterday's overhead resistance, or at least the afternoon at 192, and the next level is about 195. So the patience is going to be put to test here because the market's screaming. If you are bearish, the best you could do is not be in it. And of course, Intel bounces before 18. Yeah, look at it. It just goes off of 1820. And that's one of those that it's always going to be tricky. You're looking for a little bit tighter to that 17.6, and that trend break might have already happened. But I still feel like Intel is going to be a fade the pop. If we don't get the turn, then maybe we can find our way into the short if it starts to trend up for a little bit here. Crazy, crazy move for Intel.
Yeah,
and TXN didn't do anything.
Look at JP Morgan.
TXN did nothing like this. Intel is just being punished much more than its cohorts.
Let's go to Adara. I think.
Adara?
No. Okay,
Nope.
good. All right, so 233 now for JP Morgan as we continue to climb higher on this bank. Let's check out another one. Let's check out Wells Fargo right now. Wells Fargo doing nothing as if they are not even alive right now. Morgan Stanley not doing much either. Right now, it looks like if you're trading any of the banks, and it's a good thing that we had indicated JP Morgan, but a bad thing that we don't have our posted level of 226. But nice move up here for a JP Morgan. Now it's time to go figure out what Adara's up to.
So I just want to let you guys know, keep an eye on the market. CNN reporter is going on X here and saying apparently there was a private talk hours before China announced their new retaliatory tariffs. Apparently, during this call, the Donald Trump administration warned China against such a move and told them to request a call between Xi of China and Trump of the U.S. So again, CNN reporter here saying that apparently there was a private talk here between the Trump administration and China, basically warning them against more retaliatory tariffs. Back to you.
Dumping this thing.
Nobody likes Intel.
I thought Intel could get to VWAP there, and it was like, we're not going to any VWAP. What are you talking about? We're going to the $0.50, and then it's going to get sold off again. And you can see, to Sean's point there, you can sort of see it on the tape. I don't know if I trust any bids that start to come in, but when you saw the offer start to come in, I think you can maybe trust that, as weak as it is. So if that happens again at 1850 or at any other level, going to look to get into that one to the south side. Alibaba was supposed to be a thing here. At least it was for myself. And why is, that wick right there. So it's really wicky day or whatever you want to call it. Like, that kangaroo action, just whipsaw, 104 a quarter to 105 and a third, just back and forth, back and forth. Got to make sure there's a little bit of a direction coming in more cleanly here on BABA. So I'm on Intel watch right now. That's the thing that's moving by far the most in here, as the market looks like it wants to head back down. Intel, it just has to be a short wherever we can get it. There's a couple of halts. I heard MMA's halted, not sure why, and then JNVR's halted, and Mullins also halted. So a bunch of small cap halts.
Yeah, I don't even know what MMA is. Yeah, but all right. So so market's coming back up a little bit. I almost got tempted there to go on the TQs, but we did not. So temptation avoided for now. But, you know, I'm still looking at 47. So I'm waiting up there, 47.40, this high of the day. I had really looked to go short between 47 and 48. So as the market starts to rally upside right now, you know, those shorts are going to be available at some point. I sort of thought that today, this is why I'm not in anything. I sort of thought that today would be a little bit of a relaxed day here. But at the same time, Apple is above VWAP. It's trying to climb higher. What about a 188 long now off of the 50-period moving average? Let's check out what FXI is doing as we talk about Apple, see what the Chinese market's up to. Right now, FXI is starting to get higher there. There's the dip into the 200-period moving average again, as we talked about. So that looks like that wants to hold. Wow, Bitcoin right now, 83,000. So that's going. That was at 81 and change in the pre-market as we looked at that. And that's starting to go the other way now. So good job for iBit, taking out 47 and change, bouncing again off the 200 and on VWAP. So it's looking like right now this market just wants us to go long. I mean, there's the break here. So we're going to get ready to get into TQQ, I imagine, pretty soon here. So 47.40, 47.50. The reason why I like that trade is if you're going to look right here, these were these tops. Well, this is what I'm waiting for. I'm trying to be patient with it. You know, in the past, we would sort of leg into these trades. And I think you can do that, but it's just, I'm a little nervous about some of these wicks. Like, it just went to 46.80, then right back down into 46.50. So if you're going to trade it, maybe a little less shares and watch out for some of, as Adara says, the volatility on Eli Lilly. Right there. Yeah, good try on that. What the hell is this code that just popped in? Look at this. BABA 28C25. Oh, what is that? The Taiwan? What the hell is that? TH? I'm going to have to. Okay, change chart. I'm having like some crazy issues today.
These quotes are wild, by the way.
It's not that. What is this quote? What is this? Baba, what is this?
Oh, you don't know Baba 287C4138571?
Now my charts are completely.
First of all, anybody that ain't trading Baba.
You never heard of Baba
C3PO,
C3PO?
R2D2, K2SO. Everyone knows that symbol. I know it. You're just pretending like you don't know it.
Yeah, I think that's probably options.
So when we say you have access to trade just about everything here at Real Trading, apparently we really mean that one, including a whole lot of other stuff you ain't never heard of.
Maybe I just unlocked a secret right there, like a little Easter egg.
Well, it's got to be.
We don't have options on our platform, or do we?
By the way, the sellers might be baiting here on Intel. What was that? Is that the end?
If I start trading options, it's going to be.
There's a seller on Intel at 55.
Silly days. Silly days.
It's not options. It's got to be some kind of warrant or another type of.
I have no idea.
Something.
All right, let's go over and find out what's.
So just very quickly, there was a 250, maybe 200,000 share order that was sitting at 55 on Intel that kind of drove it down a bit. So I got short in front of them, and I just punched out when they broke. It's doing so much volume that it didn't even matter that there was a couple 100,000 shares there. When they started to fill it, it's just like, you got to go. The buyers are starting to come back into that one. It might be, it could be warrants on Baba. That doesn't matter.
It
doesn't really matter. But Baba is, like everything else, it's trending higher.
Oh,
what was that?
Let's go. Get those like and subscribe. Let's go. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, hit that like, hit that subscribe, everybody. This market is going absolutely nuts. AMD, because obviously.
Yep.
I mean,
why not trade the best, baby?
Look, in all logic, AMD is up 7% right now. Why is AMD up 7%? Because maybe this whole some chip names have exemptions and others don't in China is a whole heck of a lot bigger of a deal than we were realizing. Seeing as Intel's in the gutter and AMD and Qualcomm had that exception. Shout out to it being in the watch list, by the way. So everyone could have known this. Look, AMD is absolutely flying. It's an AMD story because NVIDIA is only up 2.5 points. Something is definitely like gone bad out of hell here. Hey, that squeeze high on AMD, at least initially, was at 96. So if you're in this one to the long side, you got to be thinking about that 96 level for sure. And it just has to do with where your plants are, right? Like, do you have any? I forget where it is that they had some to get the exemption. But if you're all in the U.S., that's what Intel was getting the ding for.
All right, guys, it's Jamie's world, and we are all just living in it right now. JP Morgan is like, yo, get on my back. We'll take you to the promised land, banks.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, nice move up there for JP Morgan. Yeah, you just mentioned AMD. That's trying to pop as well. What a long there, if anybody was able to grab that on Intel. Intel off 18. We tried it there. We got stopped out literally in 5 cents immediately. We were just playing off big size. But at the end of the day, boom, right there back up to VWAP. Do you want to short this market now? There's that 10 minutes. I mean, I don't know if anybody was questioning that stat. I mean, there it goes again. We are into the TQQ. So set the alarm up right now. Little loud. We'll put a bid down here at 47 to take a little bit. We always take out, there we go, take out 5% right there to start the day. We are now in the future short. This is what we had written down right now. We had talked about 47.50 though into those levels. So we'll wait for 47.50, see if we get a little bit of a better price. But we want to start it here because we just had that huge move up. So yeah, Apple, my Apple look was at 194. What's it at now?
Well, I had two levels. It's at the first one, 192. 94 yesterday's high. The afternoon high is 92. Intel also got into VWAP, so we're back into this one. The first time I was just shorting in front of some dude that showed up, or an order that showed up. This time I'm shorting Intel in front of the volume weighted average price. That's Intel at VWAP. There you go, like topping tail candle underneath. And Apple is right at this 92 level, looking for a bit of a trend break up here. If you were waiting for the short pops, it did require a little patience today, obviously. So you had to wait for things to really start to come back into your levels. It looks like that's starting to happen here. I'm going to try to nibble in front of this 92 on Apple. Put the stop at the high. Usually I put the stop first. I did not do that this time. It is in now. So Apple for the first time today. Intel for the second time today. Well, I don't know why I'm bidding 11. Type that one too fast. So we'll see if we can get some out in front of 18.5, because if there was a seller there, sometimes when there's extra liquidity at a price level on the way up, there's extra liquidity on the other side on the way down at that 18.5.
Yeah, we're just in the one trade here, and we're trying to watch out for the triple Qs, which of course is the futures. So right now we're in the futures contract. We've shorted this right now, so we are playing the NASDAQ short. So there it goes. My next bid is at 60 right here at the 200 period moving average. Hopefully we can get that play back in. You know what? Okay, here we go. I'm going to take out 5%. So there it goes. Yes, sir. Nice little take there on the name. So, yeah, we'll be happy with that play. There it goes. Bang. Nice little out right there. You got to take the outs when those hit. Like, if you get these dramatic moves down, make sure you do watch out for them there and scalp out as appropriate. So far, so good here. As we take our only trade so far is the futures short. So we're 1 for 1 right now. I'm actually going to put another bid for another 5% right here at 80. There it goes. Yes, sir. We'll take it again right now. There's a little bit of a chicken dinner. Winner. There we go. Let's go futures. We just get our 60 fill. So there it goes, man. That's it. Like, so good day so far. We did want a little bit higher, but it's a great start to the morning here as we go short the NASDAQ right now, 50 cents in the money. Good trade here as we have the high of the day again. This is what we're talking about, man. Patience paying these days. That is for sure. Another bid coming at 55s or so, right at VWAP, and then we'll see if we can get a 40. There it is, man. There's the 55. What world are we living in right now? Good short there. We be patient for it. It comes in. What a week, what a week, what a week. It started with with my biggest day that we've had. Then we didn't have a great day on Tuesday. Or no, we didn't have a great day on Friday. We had a great day on Monday, obviously. And then we come back and absolutely, what a monster. Make sure you do hit that like and the subscribe right there. Sharif points. I like that one, Sharif. All right, Neil, what's going on over there, man? We just got the futures short, and it's a banger.
Yeah, we just got Apple. We got the first take at 50 cents. I'm getting it out at VWAP at 190. And someone said give a bounce for Intel. Well, it's trying to bounce right now off 18.5. That's where there was a seller before, and there's some buying now. So I shorted it in front of 18.70, which is the volume-weighted average price. The first buyer's at 18.50. The low of the day, I guess, could be a bounce spot as well, but right now it's bouncing at $18.50. Unfortunately for me, I did not get Alibaba off of the volume-weighted average price. That was as clean as you like. Off VWAP there, we'll look to short another pop. BABA just went red. Taking out the lows. So the Chinese ADRs are weaker than the rest of the market. NASDAQ still slightly up, but these are breaking lows. I wanted to be short these as well. So next pop, want to see if we can get a topping tail candle, some kind of a reversion here. They're just looking relatively weak. So if we get VWAP, great. If we don't get VWAP, we'll have to find another entry point into Alibaba. NEO, I wanted if it got to 350. So that's a fail for me. It got to 345. That should have been close enough. But I was looking at Alibaba instead. Opportunity cost. You got to pick one. It's like I picked the wrong one. It got to the price I wanted, and I was looking at BABA.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what this market gives to you, right? I mean, all these different opportunities every single day. You're just trying to make the most of them and try to find your best opportunities to get in and to get out. So like we just talked about ringing the register down there. So, of course, that is what we wind up doing on the NASDAQ. And, yeah, we have half of that position left as it does come back upside. So right now, even though obviously we come back to the upside right now, I'm still looking to get short 47.40 if that does come in, but now we've sort of given us that little bottom take there, so we will get more out at 46.60 again if it does come back in. I'm still bidding 46.40s. That would be the ultimate trade for me if we do get into that level. So that's what we'll look at. Intel bouncing around. Let's take a look at Alex Karpin Company here. $88. Nice move there. Okay, Morgan Stanley just talking about X there, just booking profit on that debt. So they actually made money there, I guess. All right, man. Here goes Apple right now. We're short now, Neil. So this is the trade for us. I know you were just, I don't know if you were long or short, but.
Short in front of 92. Once 92 broke up, out, waiting for 94 next.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
Apple.
our level. I don't know why we got so excited there for Apple.
Intel's at VWAP again.
We had 193 to 194, but here we go, man. Short Apple, your next trade that we have on board right now. Not working out too good here as we're short 192.75.
So I just saw Intel go right back into VWAP. That buyer at 18.5 might be very, it's real, obviously, but they're looking like it's real strong here. It came right back down, looked like it was going to break, and then next thing you know, we're getting filled at VWAP again. If we break the local high, it's the same rule as always. That wick goes, I'm out. If it gets back under VWAP, I can think to look back underneath. So Apple, we getting there, almost there, not quite. Looks like we're trying to go. But AMD, my goodness, now about to reach the high one more time on AMD. This has been leading everything, so I kind of feel like if AMD gives it up, that'll be boding a little bit better for the shorts. Not that they're a market leader or anything, but it's certainly the strongest name out there. Adara?
We're here in a couple minutes. We're going to be getting University of Michigan consumer sentiment and the inflation expectations, but we also have some healthcare stocks on watch. This is CERT, Certara. This name had a bit of a rally yesterday. As you can see, a lot of these healthcare names rallied on reports that the FDA is looking to phase out some animal testing requirements. Today, Baird actually raising its price target in CERT as a result of this catalyst, but not all these healthcare names are doing well as a result of this catalyst, which came out late day yesterday. Charles River Laboratory, CRL, this one is at low of days. They were very reliant on animal testing. Back to you.
We're not. Boom! What a reload there on the TQs, man. We did it. We're doing it live. And there it is, Neil, man. We're showing everybody what day trading is all about. There goes Apple off of our posted level as well. That's now $1. Back down into 192 and change. There it goes. Boom goes the dynamite right there on Apple to the down. I actually have a keystroke error there because I got filled on the futures at the same time and I tried to punch out of that. But there goes the futures to the downside as well. This is a good move here for the TQQ. So we are starting to empty the clip a little bit out with this trade as this comes right back in again. So look, man, it's been a great morning so far despite the market not doing too much. I mean, we went top to bottom right now, so I guess that's a pretty good move. Up 0.75 right now for the market. But wow, what a good dip buy. Cannot believe we were able to get that 47 flat there on that. And then you just saw me take some out on Apple as well. Our big apples, I mean, we got a lot of them out there in the 40s, which is right now. And then I could see that it's kind of bouncing off here. I'm going to put another bid. There we go. We just get it right there at 40. So we're taking some out now on the way back down. Remember, we want to stop out if we do get taken out of this, 194 right there. But we are out now of Apple of 65% of that trade. We got a great fill there at 92. So we'll watch out for that. And then basically it's just the futures trade that we'll hold on to right now. So yeah, not too bad there as we go. It's going to be a big day so far, but the day is very, very early. And I'm going to put some more bids here on the TQs, and we'll see if we could just kind of calm down a little bit here in the market because it's going to be a news bomb again that hits probably at some point.
Or not.
Well, Trump's going to be speaking at about 10:50 when he boards his plane, so we'll find out if anybody asks. Or there could be no news. I mean, that's the whole point of a bomb. I mean, we don't really know if it's going to go off today or not. But there goes Apple. We have two trades today, man. Apple, which is now $1 in the money, and the futures, which is absolutely Tim cooking right now to the downside, goes Apple. And yeah, I'm just going to be chilled out right now, man. We're just going to relax. Let's hold these positions. We've already taken out, like I said, 30% now as we're back into we're back into 192 right now on Apple. So two trades today and both monsters. So we'll just hold on to them and see what winds up happening.
That's what it's all about here. Intel's still screaming higher, so it keeps on taking those highs. Gotta look for a mean reversion at some point. You're looking at the NASDAQ. I mean, it's basically at the morning resistance off of open. So looking for some curls here. You'll see me on Alibaba. If it's not going to get to VWAP, then I'm going to short it holding on to the trend. So it's got a couple of lower highs. If it can continue to do that, then I'm just shorting the pops like we were before. And Bitcoin just tagged 83 and came back. We almost got to 1280 on Mara, but you've now double topped on MARA. So it looks like that's going to be a good area. If we break VWAP, I go back into some shorts over there. But it's BABA that I want to get myself into to the south side. If we don't get Mara, certainly staying on that trend down in Alibaba is going to make some sense to me. AMD, for all of the life that it had earlier, AMD has broken this trend and looks like it's heading lower. So 94 resistance on AMD. This is a pure trend break. It's already starting to accelerate to the downside. I think you can get to VWAP at least on this break of advanced micro devices. Super strong, but that's a very, very clean trend break on advanced micro devices. And Intel could break it as well, but it needs to close under the trend line for me to go short there. I believe it is happening now with Adara.
Thank you, Apple.
Going a little early today because there are a lot of numbers to cover here. Of course, the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment preliminary print for the month of April coming through. 53.5 is the forecast. Previous print 57, so we're expecting a little bit of a decline. Then we're supposed to get University of Michigan 5-year inflation expectations and the 1-year inflation expectation, both of which are actually expected to be a little bit higher than their previous prints. So we're expecting a little bit lower consumer sentiment and higher inflation expectations. Also, Wells Fargo's earnings call starts at 10 a.m., so watch out if you're in WFC. Fed's Muslim set to speak as well. And we have the numbers lower than expected University of Michigan consumer sentiment here, 50.8. versus 53.5 expected. 4.4% here for the 5-year inflation expectation versus 4.3% expected. And the biggest number here, the 1-year inflation expectation. We were expecting 5.2%. We got 6.7%. Here's a NASDAQ dropping as a result of that lower than expected print. Tesla falling here as well. TSLA on watch after removing the ability to order some of its U.S.-made vehicles in China due to tariff concerns. And we have TXN. TXN, as mentioned earlier, alongside Intel, two names that could be impacted by tariffs in China. We know that the Chinese Semiconductor Industry Association reportedly looking to give some of these companies that manufacture in Taiwan a little bit of an exemption. TXN and INTC to the downside. Back to you.
All right, well, the party has started, and we're cooking it up. I mean, right there it goes, man. Apple, $2 in the money. The TQs went $1 as well. We just got short. We got short exactly the prices that we wrote down on the sticky note. And I just put it into our Twitter feed here, and I said, like, finally, man, we just did it like this. Plan followed, profit followed. So that's good to have that come through there today for us on the market. So good job there shorting the Qs if you did that with me, and Apple. So far so good on these monster. I mean, these are monster trades, and just felt good about it, right? We got right into those levels. We had marked down that we marked down 47.50. Can you believe that? We went to 47.40 and we grabbed it. So there it goes right there. That's 100 handles, $1 now in the money there, and $2 in the money on Apple. Time just to sit back and chill, my guy, because the damage is in right now. Big time movements here today. 2 times goal right there. Monster day for us on Apple as it just continues to go, man.
Yeah, absolutely great look over there. I just got top wicked out on AMD, and it is now flushing down. So we took our trend break. I have a rule about that. It's prior bar high. So it broke it. Now it's starting to head back down. I did get back into Intel because it broke trend, but I want to see. Well, it's not going to matter. You're going to get to VWAP pretty quick there.
AMD
Intel broke trend. It ran that stop, and then instantly, like, that's a real wick. It was down at 93.2 and cruising, then it breaks 94 where my stop was, and then right back underneath. So they ran my stop at the exact same moment that we got back into Intel. The other one, Alibaba, to me, is going to be the story, like the missed story, because it's been trending down the entire way. It's just a matter of joining trend. I'm still waiting for VWAP in here, and it feels like it wants to do me a favor and get there. Mara, that's the other one. It just broke the volume-weighted average price, so we're back underneath, looking for Mara underneath VWAP, as finally this one's starting to join the party. That was a rip your face off because Bitcoin got to 83,000, and now you're starting to come right back in here. So we're only into Intel. Remember, they got that story, and TXN and Intel caught that dead cat bounce, looking like it's breaking trend back in. We'll short more if it holds under VWAP, but I'm shorting Mara once again under the pre-market highs. This was our first L we took was on Mara, but it was one of our top ideas. BABA was the number one, and we're not into BABA once, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, for sure. What was this message from Brendo here? Right there. Okay, we'll talk about that. Oh, you asked him to get a coffee. Oh, that was nice. Okay, I didn't see that. I was like, okay, why is my message just flashing? Thanks, Brendo, for that. Thanks, Neil, for mentioning.
Yeah,
as well. I was like, okay, did we get a message from Brendan there? Okay, no.
Rob and Randy aren't.
Yeah, Rob and Randy, not in the building here.
Coffee? No, we're good.
No. Brendo, thanks, Sharif. Brendo got it for us as well. All right. Yeah, just as we go, man. We're feeling pretty lucky about everything here. Not lucky, but more blessed, to be honest with you, to be able to sit here every single day and do what we do and do what we love to do, and then put up these trades for everybody to see that this is possible to get going. Many traders give up and don't do that, right? I mean, stay there. Just to show you, like the day right now, it's Friday. We'll have a nice relaxing day today, but at the end of it all, you got to put on the right trades. And I mean, Apple, that came into our level, and we are on that name. Now we have 15% left of Apple. Unfortunately, we have 5% left of the TQs. I mean, I was not expecting to have the high of the day right back into basically the low of the day, let alone VWAP, let alone the 50-period moving average. So, yeah, man, that's going to turn out to be a decent opportunity for us. And I'm trying to get some more out because I do understand that I'm just going to put a bid right here at 34. There it goes. Just thinking that we might as well, because it's a nice move down. And if we were already considering before this as sort of a sideways day, let's just put our hands up in the air and wave them like we just don't care, because that was a good couple trades, man. We have 2 trades on today, the TQs and Apple. And then we did have this trade in Intel where we were long in and out. Sharif, as quick as you like on that Intel trade. I'm going to cancel my JP Morgan. It did go all the way up to 236. That's good. I mean, we still want 226. I don't know if that's going to come in to play as well. But I was debating this 230 move there. So if we do come back in, I think you can look for a dip buy there at 230 maybe on Intel. But I'm just going to watch out for this Apple, see if we can continue to bleed here the rest of the day, and this TQ's position. So if there's anything else you guys want there, we're 2 for 2 here today, and really loving the trade opportunities this week. So let's end the week on a positive note. It's a big day there. First 35 minutes. We weren't in anything, guys, until 9:53 today, and we are having again, that kind of a morning. So we have Adara as usual with another breaking story.
Boeing breaking low of days. I'm seeing reports here. Apparently, Chinese airline Junyao has delayed the delivery of a Boeing 787 jet amidst this tariff dispute. They were set to take delivery of the jet in about 3 weeks. So BA facing a, delivery snafu with regards to these tariff situations between the U.S. and China. Back to you.
That's what you call catching a stray. But everyone's catching strays because this tariff war, if you have the 2 biggest economies battling each other, there's going to be a lot of strays caught. Boeing broke the low of the day there. Obviously, that's not going to be good for them. And it's at yesterday's lows. Check that. No, it is not. It's at the afternoon lows. Yesterday's lows are actually underneath 150. That broke 150 yesterday? Yuck. 150 looks like it's about the last reprieve there for Boeing. As I said, we got back into Mara. I don't know if Boeing's moving enough just yet, but it just bounced off the 1210 level. So remember, that's where our stop was earlier, as 1210 was like a local high. So if it's going to hold on to that, you might see the range between 1210 and 12.25. In which case, as long as it's a failed breakout of the high, look to short the top and try to get back out the bottom.
Oh, good outs.
Intel is doing the same thing, except it's 18.8 and 18.6 as well. And oh wow, Apple's coming right back.
Yeah,
inside.
good outs.
Still on the offer. I am still on the offer, waiting for 194 on Apple.
Yeah, me too, man.
All right, instead of waiting on that level, I'm just going to have that level 2 up, so I'll get the curl. I want the trend break if it does it again, or just in front of 94, check that on AAPL. The market's coming right back into the highs, Nvidia's coming back into the highs. Anything that's looking strong is probably at those tops, with the notable exception, obviously, of Intel. So Intel's a bit of a different story because it's just making its high since the open. But if it busts that, that's a big gap to fill. If I'm out here, I'm waiting till we get to at least 19.3.
Look at the futures.
Retesting that top. But it's starting to back off of this 18.8 again.
Wow. I mean, the fact that we have less than 5% left of the futures when this happened and then we got out, like that's, again, like feeling really on it. Like this whole week. I mean, you know, we emptied out the clip right there. We talked about that. We emptied out the clip on Apple. I just punched out a little bit more because we did have 15% left of Apple. Now we have 10% left as we get out at 192. I mean, ho-hum, we'll take 75 cents, but it was a good move down there to that downside where we did clean out our position, as we told you. That's why I don't have a problem, and if you guys ever want to ask any of us any questions, you can do that, but I'm going to try to let you know what percentages of the trade I'm getting out of, because I feel like that's, you know, one of the more important thing there. So holding, here we go. What's this Piper saying? Piper, holding a large loss on my future short. Okay, well then you don't have my short, so that's all good. But hopefully that comes back for you wherever you're short there, Piper. Right now, I'll probably reload this short up here if it does. Oops, that's Apple. Sorry. If it does come back up here, we'll probably. I don't know. It wouldn't be my short there, Piper. So we're gonna wait to see if it can hold out, because right now the only positions that I've had is short right here at 47.20, and then short at 47.40, and then downside pressures obviously after that. So yeah, I'm sorry about the loss there, and hope that it can come back in. But right now, all good here as far as shorts are concerned. So we'll just continue to ride the momentum here. Looking to get more short on Apple, looking to do some damage on. I know you're just on Intel there, so I'll throw it back to you because I don't have any action going on right now.
And it's the same action as before. Intel just goes right to the top. I probably should have scalped it out when it gave the 10 cents. Didn't. I'll take the L for that one, but it broke that high 4 times in on Intel. Going to try to control the loss every single time. The way I always try to work it, I don't want to lose on Intel short more than I can make on one good trade. So I'm probably going to get 1 or 2 more shots at this. I think either it loses it here or we wait for it to get up to that top at 19.3. Clearly it's getting a bit of a dead cat bounce, but the market, it's not just that. The market is trending to the upside at this particular point. So you can't ignore that. The only thing that isn't right now to me is, I mean, really, it's the only thing that has been trending up is BABA that I've been watching. So that's the only thing that is standing out a little bit. You're seeing, I'm watching Bitcoin hold on to trend since the high, like trend down. And then I'm looking at Mara. Usually it's the other way around. Like Mara's trying to break out this local top here and breaking its trend when Bitcoin's not. I'm trying to give it back into this local high here at 12.4.
Wow.
While we're seeing Bitcoin fade. But if this trend continues, then I have to move over and trade IBIT. Usually Mara is just relatively weak compared to Bitcoin. I want to see that at least come back into the fold. If it doesn't, then I have to switch to the instrument that's doing what I'm expecting it to do, which right now is oddly Bitcoin.
All right, here we go. Yeah, Bitcoin.
As I say that, then all of a sudden it drops.
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, we're still net short. I mean, we talked about that. So here we go. Let's put another one. There's another dollar right there for us on the TQQs. So yeah, man, the money flowing in here today, that is for sure. I mean, again, depending on what you're trading, you can see Neil and I obviously trading completely differently and different symbols right now, as I'm just short Apple again. We just bid out one more time down there. Like, I don't know. We talked about how violent these markets are going to be. Like, look at that wick. Like crazy, man. We just put, well, it's right here right now. There it comes right back in. But it's just some of these movements that you have. I still feel like if you put some bids out, you never know where you're going to get filled these days. So good move. Okay, well, speaking about never knowing where you're going to get filled, let's put another one out here for the TQQs. There we go, Piper, my guy. Can't be out of the short now. You can't be out of the money now as the short comes right back in there. So yeah, still doing all of that. We said that would be a really light day. This is still going to be a pretty big day here, just trading these 2 symbols, but we want to look for other names as well. So let's look at SMCI, what's going on in that area of the semiconductors. Okay, nice move there to the downside, I guess, for SMCI, but it's not like it's actually doing a whole heck of a lot right now. Trying to barcode a little bit. I'm going to pass on that, actually, now that I look at it. All right, let's go over to AMD. And again, we need stuff with catalysts and things that are moving, right? I mean, right now we're in $2 short on Apple. We're in $1.50 short on the NASDAQ. So I'm pretty pretty sure we've got some decent opportunities to look at today. And right there, AMD bouncing again off VWAP. So, this could be a good spot. I still want to stay net short, though. I'd put out a couple notes there earlier about looking for that short, and I think that's going to be probably the better way to stay. So that's what we're going to do, is stay to look short. AMD being too strong today is a pass on the short then.
NVIDIA's got a bit of a weird thing happening at yesterday's high.
Sure.
Well, it's not weird. It's just holding yesterday's high very, very cleanly right here at 110.5. So there's the top yesterday. There is the higher low. Actually, it's about exactly the same thing, or lower high, whatever you want to call it. So whatever's happening at 110.50, I'm going to throw that up on, I'll keep Apple on another chart. It doesn't want to get to that 94. So I'll throw NVIDIA up here so I can see the level 2 when it gets there and get an idea of what's actually going on at that price. Make sure I'm still tracking Apple just in case it gets up there. I don't want to lose sight of that name. But certainly there's sellers en masse at 110.5 on NVIDIA. Mara finally, remember I was saying Mara wouldn't break underneath VWAP and Bitcoin was? Well, in the moment that I was saying that, the second I finished saying that, it did dip underneath VWAP. Sometimes you just talk about it, it happens. But there's still buyers. At 1210, it seems to pick up steam again, so we're shorting it into that lower high as long as Bitcoin holds trend. And if it breaks the bottom, look for an out underneath 12 into the low of the day as well. But that NVIDIA selling here looking very, very spicy. When you see a pattern like this, they're telling you, the chart's telling you there's a seller up here. All you have to do is let it break 10, spot it, and then just try to punch in. The high is 110.72 currently, so if it gets into the 50s, that would be a bit of a go zone. I think you got to scalp it because it's still holding VWAP and up 2%, so it's a relatively strong stock, but the sellers are en masse there.
Yeah, good look there. The sellers are...
Well, someone actually said it in the chat. I just pulled it up.
Yeah, I know. No, good look. We're looking for different names and different ideas here as well. So, all right, as per the chat there, what's up, Christopher, right now, wants to look at Amazon. So we'll have some ideas on this when we get back from Madeira.
This part of the show is brought to you by Worksport. Introducing a new discovery on the NASDAQ. Worksport, ticker WKSP. Worksport's a US-based manufacturer, and they are rapidly expanding, with growing revenues, government contracts, and innovative green energy products designed to power your life off-grid. So whether you are on the move or seeking sustainable energy solutions, Worksport has you covered. Now trading on the NASDAQ under WKSP. Discover the future of clean energy with Worksport. Back to you.
Yeah, so those of you in the chat that were looking at this name here, obviously we'll have a look together at it. That is going to be our friend and your friend and many of our friends, Amazon. We've been talking about this name for a minute, that's for sure, but it's down today, Christopher. So Amazon, if we come over to the chart here, Fabian, we'll just have a quick look at AMZN, but excuse me, nice move down into 180. I think that's probably not a buy area, man. You're just now starting to get back up. We are red on Amazon versus a plus market. So for me, I'm still shorting up here. I'm still shorting everything. So I like Amazon. We're trying to hold on to this short, as you guys can see here. So we'll wait to see where it goes. But for me, Christopher, I think that Amazon, if we look at a little bit of a longer time frame here, I like it as a dip buy opportunity, if that's what you're asking for. If you're planning on holding this name for a while, stepping in today isn't horrible if it's going to be your first time or you want to just nibble in a little bit here. But I'm not going long. We talked about some of these levels that we had seen during the huge decline, 170 or so. So for me, I think if we can get low enough today into 175, between 177 to 175, I think that's a good area to look to maybe add to your position or to start one. So for me on Amazon, man, it's going to be a puff pass because I just... not much going on there for me. We're $2.50 in the money on the trades we have so far, and we're pretty happy with the way it's been going. So I think we'll look there and look, even just as we talk about Amazon, you asked me a couple minutes ago, I said short. So if you just took that, you're now a member of the Dollar Club, man. So yeah, big day today, just these two shorts. And the good thing about it is, on why today is such a good day, is because it's exactly as Nas would say, as it was written. And you're just gonna look right here. This is what we put up, man. This is what we put up. We put Intel 20 short. That was there when we wrote it, but not there now. We put TQQs 47.50. We have 47.40 as our short right now. $1.50 in the money. JP Morgan long. We'll double check that, but I'm not going long anymore today. Apple right there, 193 to 194 short. Neil, that's $3 in the money. So it's just kind of like $2 in the money. We only got 193 short. So everything's printing out for us today, and we don't need to panic and get into anything. Apple coming back down into 191, a good opportunity to get yet another piece out as we're back into the 50-period moving average. So let's put a bid at 191.25. There's still 40 minutes left in our show. Then you get to the big guys over here with both Joe and Sharif are locked and loaded. Ready to go today, so get ready for some more trading. Tesla, things like that. These guys are all over it, and so are we. So
Tesla's been calm, by the way. Well, no, maybe not. Relatively calm. But we just got a super chat from Cheese. Go Cheese. Our good friend Cheese.
Yeah, what's up,
Cheese? In a
Cheese?
hot minute. What's up, Cheese? He's not watching, but hadn't talked to him.
None of our friends are, unfortunately.
RX, squeeze or turnaround? Okay, so the first thing, look, I haven't looked at it, so we got to look at the chart first. If we break low, by the way, if we break low here, I'm bidding at 11.95. That's the next thing there. So whether you're looking at small cap A or small cap B, I know Sharif has a rule that I also like. When you pull back off of high break, does it hold on to VWAP? If it holds on to VWAP, then I still remain bullish on these things. If it loses the volume weighted average price, then I'm not confident until it's either the pre-market low holds at that point or like something prior, but the pre-market low is the level, and that's underneath $5. That's 10% if it loses VWAP. It needs to hold it here as you're pulling back in, but you should always zoom out. Where do we curl? At the most obvious place ever. It's at a brick wall at $6 on the bid. It gets to $6 where people probably have been buying this stock, and where do they start selling? $6. So for me, a squeeze has to be breaking away from $6 and $7. You don't squeeze if shorts aren't getting burned. And shorts on this stock are not getting burned at all, everybody. So just shout out to you for the super chat. Appreciate you. But I think you got to obviously get up to, you got to break that $7 for that thing to squeeze. Now we're starting to get the breakdown and had to stick with Mara as this one's finally trying to break down into the low of the day.
I wish I had more to say. Many of you probably wish I don't. 45.50. Maybe, sometimes, saying nothing says everything. So on that note, bye-bye futures. Thank you everybody for watching. It's small cap recap time.
Indeed it is, and our friend RX from the Super Chat's actually on here. We have a little bit of a story, so excited to talk about that here. But let's talk about the IWM first. Down on the day, this one, of course, like the rest of the market, had that nice rally on Wednesday on talks of that 90-day tariff pause from President Trump. But it's still above yesterday's low. So right now, kind of range-bound, trying to figure out its direction is the Russell 2000. Let's talk about RX. Recursion Therapeutics, as far as I could tell, is one of many of these healthcare names benefiting from this story from yesterday around 3:40 p.m. So what happened here was we had the FDA announcing that they're going to be planning on phasing out animal testing requirements. RX is up on this, CERT is up on this, but some other companies that rely or are known for animal testing like CRL are actually trading much lower on this catalyst. For the part of RX, it's worth noting, I think, that we have a 29% short float. Let's talk now about THTX. Thera Technologies, 5% short float, getting a proposal here from FuturePack to acquire the company for $255 million. Then we have MSPR. This is MSP Recovery. This one was on our watch list this morning. Smaller float runner, and I believe it's run in the past as well. So MSPR, a little bit removed from its highs of days, but one to keep an eye on today, guys. Back to you.
I pity the fool that doesn't hit the like and subscribe button.
I need your new one or somebody else's new one to be able to hit the button myself. I got all the old ones in there, and that's my old one that everyone's showing. If you're enjoying the show, the market just hit low of day. I looked over. Obviously, I said I should have taken Neo or, Baba we liked a little bit better. That's what we picked. Never got up there. Neo did do a pop and fade. But as we just broke low of the day on Baba, I just saw what was happening in IO, which was a convenient little barcode under an obvious resistance level. So I just got short at 35, trying to get some mids here, and we'll hold on to that one, see if I can go into the low of the day. Mara, we just finally had to stick with this one. It was trending to the upside pretty heavily. And then all of a sudden, We lost VWAP. Now it's headed back into the low. Going to respect that low of the day over there on Mar. You say, man, oh man, what up, buddy?
Just the futures cannot believe what is happening right now. Like this Apple, and I'm saying man, oh man, honestly, because the amount of shares that we had up here, it just would have been nice to have really believed, okay, there, we just got 45 shorts again, down breaking through the lows. So we just add to this position now. So now we're a little bit happier with this. We were looking at 45 short. There it goes, man. Are we riding this bear or what? As we just keep on getting lower and lower. Shorty got low, 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 low. Apple bottom jeans. Where are these jeans taking us right now? Looks more like bell bottoms right here. They're just expanding at the bottom, baby. There goes Apple, bang, right there. That's $3 and it's clean. $3 too. We didn't, and this is what I'm saying. Like we got out at VWAP, we got out on everything. Now we start to go a little bit lower. We got to be careful here because we added to this position. So let's take a little bit. I mean, we already got some out, but maybe that low maybe now could capitulate back up to the top side. So I'm actually going to get out right now of this position. If we break back above 45, let's just look right here. What is that level? 45.30s. Let's just get out of this one. I can't believe I have to. My stop is just so much higher than this, but we're going to go 45.41 on this last little punch low. This order, I actually forgot about it. Hello, irresponsibility. Because we were looking at remember we talked about it earlier? We were trying to go short off of the break of the low of the day. And we had mentioned that at about, I don't know, probably 9 o'clock whenever we were talking about the futures there. And unfortunately for us, but unfortunately for right now, it's going back to the upside. So we'll tap out of this one if it gets to 45.40s. And this will be our first, I'll have to do the math. I'm not sure we lost. I mean, we got some out there at 44.71s, 44.60s. So there it goes, breaking back up. So looks like 40 cents, 30 cents down, 40 cents up. So we'll slap a fail on that break low right there. You know, what we wind up giving back on that trade is basically next to nothing there on the TQs because, well, not next to nothing. We gave back 15% actually of what we had there, but that's not considering that. Let's just say about 10% back on the TQs that we had just lost there because the math won't work. It just shows me LFTs. So right there, nice trade. We're up pretty nicely here on the TQs. Wish we would have held more. But at the end of the day, you could see both Neil and I favoring the shorts and I think it's been okay. Before I throw it back, I just want to check out JP Morgan quickly. So this one does get back in, but not into low enough for us. We're still up that 1.41% here on JP. But at the end of the day, it doesn't get to our 226. I think being responsible would be in and around there. So let's wait to see if that hits. There goes the TQs. We might have got ran at the top, but again, it was not a heavy position. We actually emptied it out right there, held about, like I said, about maybe 55, 60% of it to get shut down, to get stopped out at that level. So, all right, we'll throw it back to Neil and we'll figure out what we're going to trade next.
We're going to talk a little bit about trade the pool because it isn't just a new option for trading. It's a new mindset for trading and stock traders. Forget the old rule books, everybody.
Throw them out.
Big time. Well, yeah, throw them out there. Where big trades meant big risk. With Trade the Pool, you can trade real stocks with massive capital and only put down $47 to get started. Your loss is capped. Profits, unlimited. This is about breaking barriers, not your bank account. So, if you are ready to trade big without the usual fear of losing it all, head to tradethepool.com. Scan the QR code or check the link in the description of the video here, everybody, because when you trade on a prop floor with a prop firm, I think a lot of people understand there's something inherent with the risk management where you get that external discipline. Traders have to build internal, but if you have someone building the external with their rule set and holding you accountable to it, it is a little bit of an advantage to take advantage of. So shout out to Trade the Pool for that. We like trading, of course, other people's money as well. Bit of a bottoming tail at the bottom, bit of a bottoming tail candle on the futures there. Tesla, we joked about filling in the gap. It didn't really do so. 240 still in play, but it's holding prior day, afternoon support levels. Just going back over to, I'm into that WB. I'll show you in a second. But Still looking at VWAP on Mara. That doesn't actually get to its low. And the same barcode's still happening on NIO. So I did get some there at 35s and 34 halves. So it's like 34.75 or whatever. But we're just sitting here. If it breaks this seller, then I'm just going to punch out. I'll probably punch out manually. And we'll see if this bottom can come in here. I just took a shot in, I'll do some time to time, and Walgreens off any prior support level. So first one here for myself is in front of 1150. If it tags 1135, makes a fresh low, I'll do a mean reversion on that back into VWAP as well. What else are you guys looking at? Some people saying long in the chat. I don't like the longs today.
I don't know.
I've been willing to. I was going to lose. I wanted to lose on some longs. That was going to be on shorts. That was going to be the play, and that's what happened over there on Intel. And I got top wicked on Intel.
Top wicked? Oh, short.
Well, actually, someone else hit it like 2 or 3 cents higher, but you know what I mean.
Ooh.
And then, but this was close to the top wick. But it was a trend break, and if it's trending up, the general rule I have is that whole prior bar high or prior bar open close. And if it runs your stop, it runs your stop. The issue is not getting back into it. Like we went over to Mara and saw this on Neo instead. But that's it was a pretty clean re-entry, I think, if you stick with it. Because AMD, as strong as it was, it's looking very, very weak now, heading down to those lows. So this is just another reason to hold on to shorts or look for additional. Alibaba has just been trend down slightly the whole way, whether it's Baba, whether it's JD here, like breaking those lows. That's why I'm sitting in Neo. Like if it even tries to follow, essentially I'm risking 1.5 cents for it to break the lows like the rest of the others are as we speak. Adara?
Here's the crypto update. Bitcoin continuing this little downtrend, but right now finding quite a bit of support at that 75,000 level. Where do we have resistance? It's over top here, this resistance that we made. I guess the high of day here, we'll say on Wednesday, that high volume day where we had this rally with the rest of the market. Bitcoin makes a high of $83.5 thousand. Now, yesterday, or this morning, it breaks out yesterday's high, but it still can't get to that level. I think our high of day today, 83.2. So slightly lower high from, of course, that massive rally that we saw happening on Wednesday. Where are we now? I mean, as of right now, we're still holding yesterday's low, but Bitcoin needs to hold onto the 79,000 level. Currently holding actually quite well above 81,000. But how's the rest of this crypto market doing? We have Ethereum down in the day here above 1,500, but down about 1.5%. Then we have XRP down about 1%. Tron down about 1%. Cardano basically flat. So really mixed performance here. Solana, worth noting, up 5% today, guys. Back to you.
Cardano. Let's go, Cardano.
That's Cardano or Solana up?
I think both. Yeah, and I think XRP.
I heard Cardano. Okay.
Yeah. So good. Thanks, Adara, for that. I mean, again, we did look a little bit at some of the crypto, sort of the altcoins there earlier this morning. So thanks, Adara. Every single day, guys, at 10:30, yes, Adara will have your crypto minute or crypto update or crypto 2 minutes or 30 seconds. The fattest of pipes. The fattest of pipes right now is halted.
Phrasing.
So that's okay. I don't know, fat pipe.
It's a Archer thing.
Oh, an Archer thing. Okay, that's one thing I got to watch. I mean, we have never got into Archer, and I know you love that. All right, so I just want to call it up because it is halting. I mean, I don't. Yesterday it looked like this. The volume wasn't there. I'm only bringing this to everybody's attention, not so we all jump into this pool here or anything like that, but because it is a halting stock, and there are names, traders in here that look for halts. Again, a relatively new IPO, I believe it was Tuesday there. Huge move to the upside. We are actually part of this. I actually have a 22 fill in my account, but we wound up losing on that day because we went long 19. We got out on the first halt at 21 and change, then we got 22 and change on the next halt. Then we got out at 12s when it broke lower, so we wound up net negative on Fat Pipe. But it is halted right now. Looks like it's limit up, so we'll wait to see where that goes. Right now it's tapping, and I just want to bring it to everyone's attention because we're lucky enough to have this on here. And I think it'll be a 10-minute halt because I feel like I've been looking at this for a minute. 10:19, so it's even more than that right now. So I don't know, Adara, if there's specific news on Fat, but there must not be. It's more than 10 minutes now, so just be patient with it. But right now it is. Maybe they're looking for liquidity. I don't know. But it's only $7.49 is the tap. So you might get $1 worth of a trade here. If I were you guys and I was in this trade, if and buts, then, taking out half for $1 might be good on a day like today, but it's up to you. We are near the bottom there. When it opens back up, we shall be on it. I was a little upset there because as we threw to Adara, the market just, as soon as we got out of that, it tanked again. But now we're starting to get back to the upside here. I have the famous 2% left of Apple. So we'll wait to see where that goes now. That was a good out for us. Our best outs, though, we actually have 2 outs down here, but our best outs were still at VWAP and here at the 50-period moving average. We did have, this is a keystroke error, but one that's, it kind of sucks. I got the Apple trade the same time I got the Q's trade the first time. And so, or maybe it was the second, I think it must have been this time. And I panicked because it instantly went down the futures and I saw my blotter. I was like, oh my God, I got to get out. But I was on the Apple. I was on Apple. So, that's part of it too. You don't necessarily want to be short, Apple and the futures at the same time, at the same level, because that's double your trouble, but it could also be double the fun. Talk about fun times. Let's go see what Miss Adara has for us.
So here's Fat Pipe. There is a story I want to clarify. I checked both TradingView and P-Pro8. There are less than 100,000 shares traded on this on the day. So extremely low liquidity for FATN as far as I am seeing. There was a catalyst came out at 10 a.m. It's a press release. They're just saying that they raised the bar with their single stack cybersecurity and network security. So yeah, just a press release pump here for FATN. But again, as of the hold, I really want to stress less than 100,000 shares traded on the day. Back to you.
I was noting that too. It was 89,000 shares. But thanks to Darren. And again, I just want to say thank you to everybody. We'll go over to some trades here. I know Neil's.
No, I just want to. Can I say one thing?
Go. I was just going to talk to the chats.
I've been waiting for this. Hi ho, silver, everybody. SLV breaking out the highs. There you go. Silver hasn't been doing what gold's been doing. I've been waiting. Look, and you know what? I was waiting for. Just wanted to say that line if it broke the double top at the all-time high, and then every time it just wouldn't do it. We'd be talking about it in the aftermarket show, and silver wouldn't break, and it would pull back. But it's through the 200-period moving average. It's catching a bit of a bid. Gold is better. I'm not telling you that gold isn't better. Of course, it's a million times better right now. But SLV has been making some power moves, and it is breaking out, and it is a strong trend. And a lot of people are watching this one here in the chat today. So good luck to you. As I said, on a lark, and I don't remember why, I bought some physical silver back in COVID, and I'm not a really metals person. I never really owned it, but so I cheer for silver every now and then. But I just never got rid of it.
Yeah, no, we were lucky enough that my kids, it was not a huge amount of money or anything like that, but so my father-in-law was buying physical silver for the kids. He just again, an old school kind of thinking there, and so that was really cool for him to do that. Look, we want to thank eSignal for their continued work with us here at Trader TV Live. They've kept this promo on, and we're really happy with that. So scan that QR code right now on your screen and grab a month free. If you're looking for charting, if you're looking for 24-hour charts, if you're looking for literally any type, if you have your charting platform and you're not happy with something that they have, I can pretty much guarantee you eSignal will have it. They do have world-class customer support. You could hop right on there. The knowledge base is also from the users as well. So there are so many API, programmed indicators and whatnot that you can download from eSignal. Plus, it's right there, what's on your screen right there. I love the screener. And we talk about that all the time. My favorite one, thanks Fabian, we can roll that off. I like this hot list right here. So you can scan this. This is just called up. These are not curated lists. These just pop up automatically. So right now it's telling us, take a look at the IWM right here. I'll just call this chart up so you guys can see. So IWM doing volume. These are trade rates. So the amount of trades going through, outsized usual trades. So SPY obviously moving, Apple, AMD, Google. It is a lot of the usual suspects, but then you get ones like this THTX here. So this might be something for you, Tisha.
You just posted about it.
Oh, really? Okay, well, there it goes. There's another stock right there. Even this RX popping off on here right now, right? That's down 21%. And you could see now Google must be doing something. Hi-oh, there goes Google to the upside. So again, we'll talk about it, but I am literally been using eSignal since I had hair. And I mean, I really, like 24 years ago, I sat down on the floor and just used eSignal and have never stopped using it. So I like it. Again, the back testing, it's obviously on the PCs at home as well. And I haven't actually, you know, I have to admit this, I don't have it downloaded on my phone. So I think I'll do that.
I've never tried it either.
Me neither. So I'm going to try that this weekend.
You can.
And see, I assume you
phone,
can. I mean, we just showed 50 plus apps.
No, I mean, you can put it on your iPad or whatever tablet you have. Maybe not the iPad that I'm using, because I literally, this iPad's so old, I can only use it to make some rudimentary notes with prices on it. Anything else crashes it. But no, that TXTX, THTX, I should say, just as you were saying that, you can't make this up. When you were showing it at the top of the trade rate,
right,
it was running, trying to break the high of the day. So that's what you want to see. Like, obviously, it's trending higher and didn't hold that break, but it had the volume behind it to be going. And if you're trading a small cap runner, and Tisha will know this in the chat, if it doesn't have explosive volume, you don't want to be following a move. If it's boring, then it's not good for a small capper. That stands out for sure. It's time to look at Sector Watch with Adara. Please tell me something good about oil.
I'm having too much fun.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we can talk about energy minerals here. They're to the downside. Utilities, a little bit mixed here as well. We have consumer services pretty weak. Finance actually pretty weak, other than JP Morgan, still to the upside after its earnings. We had Morgan Stanley and Wells Fargo report as well. Retail trade a little bit mixed. Walmart trying to hold down the fort here. Health services, UNH still really strong. This thing is still near all-time highs. Communications to the upside, consumer non-durables to the upside, and really mixed performances here for our tech names. Meta, Oracle, Palantir, all to the downside. In technology services, Microsoft relatively flat. But Google up about 1.5%. Electronic technology, both of our mega sevens in this sector are to the upside, as is Broadcom. And before we send you back to the guys, I want to let you know, I've heard a lot of talk about when is Donald Trump speaking today. He has no scheduled speeches per se, but you can check out our daily Trump calendar, or Trump tracker, if you will, on X at TTV Research. I usually try to post it before his first appearance. He has his physical going on today at the Walter Reed Hospital, and then he's going to be going to Mar-a-Lago. So there's very few opportunities to spot him. But according to his schedule, he will be at 10:50 a.m., leaving the White House to attend said physical. So you might be able to catch him there. We also have a press conference with Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, scheduled for 1 p.m. Eastern. Back to you.
Apparently, this is some kind of a trend. So you have, you know, there we go. You put on stuff that you like. Thank you so much to my lovely wife, Marissa, honestly. If you guys are looking for anybody to do work for you, hit me up, because Marissa, right, look at this, charting.
That's good.
We've got the coffee,
stuff.
we've got that, we've got that, we've got that, we've got that. And this is pretty much what I look like.
Is that the iWatch on the
yeah, man, this is just nuts, man. And then the Nikes are right here. I mean, this is,
zoom that in a
I
little
don't
bit
even know, like these aren't, like this is what we're wearing today. It's just like, I mean, I pretty much look like a psychopath, so I don't know what's up with that. But at the end of the day, there it is, man. I don't know. I have no idea how she does anything like this, but there it is.
And that's actually the.
I mean, it's literally the hat I was wearing.
No, but that's the actual. Hold on a second. That's the actual chair we usually sit in. You don't have it right now.
That's the Herman Miller, yeah.
Yeah, it's the exact same Herman Millers that we sit in. There. That is some quality. That's some quality-ish.
Man, that's too much. She's also watching the show, so shout out to you, Marissa. There, she was watching it all morning and was like commenting on the trades. So that's it's good. I like when she watches when I'm making money, so that's good too. So there we go. Thanks for that, Marissa, and I will be tweeting that one out. I thought that was pretty funny there. So yeah, I do look like I just got out of jail, you know. But yeah, so far so good on the day. I really like that picture. So. Yeah, we'll save that. We'll tweet that out. Funny times ahead for that. So I like that. All right, what else is going on? I've only got the Apple short. The thing is, it's getting juicy again. We only have that 2%. The market's making a little bit of a move back up into VWAP. Could be another short. I'm going to be as patient as possible, man, and just wait. If we have an opportunity to wait for that, I'm going to do that. So we're going to wait up there at 193 and see what winds up happening. But
the Chinese names are still going down. So even with the market bouncing there, like the NASDAQ almost went green a second ago. BABA's still at the low of the day. JD is still, double check, I mean, pretty much at the low of the day as well. And the selling So I want to clarify something. There was like this wall here. There wasn't actually even a big order on NIO at 36. You could just sort of see that it wasn't breaking. So I'm waiting for it to break the low of the day and then just bid into yesterday's bottom. So the rest of the Chinese ADRs are going down, and there's a brick wall at 36, and you can be short 34.5. I'm short 34.5, not 35, as you can see by the fills. It just rounds up. But if it breaks that, I'm punching out at 36. It's 1.5 cents worth of risk. So 1-to-1 is literally at right here. And then we'll see the bid come back into the downside. Let's see what happens. As long as we trend down on BABA, JD, I think we're good to go. NVIDIA is climbing. NVIDIA is relatively strong and hasn't had a red candle since bouncing off the lows on a 3-minute. So the market's at VWAP. It's breaking the volume weighted average price. But you know there's this wall of sellers at 110.50. That's what you got to wait for. The last time it was up here, they started selling a little bit early, just above the 110 level. If it gets up there again, I think maybe look for a little bit of that. But there was a brick wall on this bad boy that I think you want to take advantage of. I was waiting for it to get to the 50s at that point, and it just didn't happen. It's distinctly different from most of the rest of this market here. So 1.6% to the upside. It's been a short type of market, and this technically is an inside day for NVIDIA, which puts it in the realm of relatively strong. Tesla, still have eyeballs on that. If it gets down to 240, it's trending down like it wants to make a test of yesterday's low. Some of these reversals were so big at the bottom that if it gets there, I would just want to take a shot at yesterday's lows. It would mean a little bit of bleeding. Tesla obviously relatively weak, but we're going to stick to Mara, and I wanted a Chinese ADR short. We got the wrong one. We're in NEO and not into Alibaba, but you take the one you can get. I'll still short this at VWAP one more time if we get up there. Apple, I see from ACK in the chat. Apple running the high of the day. There's still that 94 level. It hasn't really gotten there just yet. So it could still break the high of the day.
Yeah, that's
and be an entry and still be an entry at yesterday's high. This is, oh, by the way, these dark pool wicks, they're not random, but they're not random. I can show you guys what that is. Hopefully this will be exactly right. If you look at the overnight market, and I'll have Blue Ocean up here as it's, oh, maybe Blue Ocean doesn't want to load. Okay, Blue Ocean's having trouble loading. But anyways, it's the overnight, those wicks just represent the range on the overnight market. So see, this is Apple overnight from 8 until later. And you can see like 95 top and like 86. So when you look at those dark pool dumps that happen at 8 a.m., this is just showing you a lot of that range. So overnight, you had resistance at 94, 95, which kind of lines up with the resistance we had yesterday. So it's worth watching here. I got eyeballs on Apple as we just climbed through 193 for the first time. So we're getting close to that prior day high.
Yeah, we've got eyeballs on Apple, that's for sure. As we wait to see where we're going now in this market. Apple, so I'm still waiting for that short. We've just put the offer up now at 193.50. So, sorry, 193.70. 193.80. So we are getting up there. We did want a as Neil just mentioned there, we did want a 94 short. So that was the level that we had marked down here today. We had marked down between 193 and 194. We already put the damage on the board of that 193 short. We didn't want it again as the market was ripping upside right there. So we're going to be patient, wait for the top take here on Apple, and hopefully that will come in for us. And we'll wait, though. We'll wait to see if it does. That's going to be Apple. Dangerous play to go short anywhere in the middle here, I feel like. But if you are short right now, I'd give it to 194, or like 194 quarters, something like that. If it does pop up, that'll be my out. 190. I give 193.15s as an out there if it does go. Let's take a quick look at our friend FXI here, because we did want to have a look at China a little bit today in case there was going to be some more actionable trades here for China. And yeah, right now FXI does get underneath VWAP as the market was fading out a little bit there. So did FXI back into $32. So that's going to be a name to look at there. I did want to check out Fat Pipe again because it did open up. And look at that move, man. We told you where it was opening up at 749. That is where it opened up. Then it ripped to 820 and now back down. I don't think there's going to be enough volume here to actually...
I don't think you can trade that.
Trade? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I think if you're going to have this up, you might just want to wait for the halt to happen itself and then hit the halt. Or hopefully you can get involved with it. But it did halt again to the downside once it reopened back up there.
You know what IPO you could trade?
Is there another IPO today?
Well, it's not a new one. CoreWeave is hanging on by a thread to the bottom. And remember, the IPO issue was $40. What level do you think it ripped from yesterday? From $40 to $49 at the close. Well, okay, it got to 49 at the close, but it ripped at in the middle of the day. So that 40 level, we break the low here on CoreWeave. You could see that 40. There is an IPO that's done 2 million shares worth of volume, so you can actually trade it. And if it gets to 40 again, why not? They defended that price. The issuers always seem to want to not look bad.
Right.
Go figure, right? They look good today because pretty much every single bank, I mean, I know Morgan Stanley was certainly one of them, Goldman Sachs. There was a whole wath of underwriters for CoreWeave. It was like everybody was an underwriter for CoreWeave. But that $40, that issue price, they're going to defend it. And that's what they did yesterday. You get back to that same price, and then you can do it again. Right, so we're at VWAP on Mara. The actual, when I say money fills, it's been curling off VWAP, but the best fills have been letting it break the volume-weighted average price and get it just above. So those have been the better fills as it's coming back into the volume-weighted average price here. So still in the same names. If you're wondering, just because I have it up here, this is sort of it's just a more mean reversion on Walgreens, but Walgreens is going to make a fresh low, and I'm just going to buy it back at the bottom and play it back into the reversion. It breaks the low. I'd love to be able to get something down here and do the same type of play. So want to get that reload in Mara. We're not quite at 94 yet on Apple, but you're getting pretty close at 93.25.
So my guy Joe asked for something, he's going to get it. So right now he wants to know what's for lunch. So let's go. All right, Joe, we're going to find out.
Buy lunch?
Right now, well, yeah, well, we weren't going to buy lunch.
Oh, no, yeah.
Try to figure out. Randy's not even here, so there goes that idea. But we could still think about buying lunch. All right, what's for lunch today? Let's go have a quick little look here because Joe's like, well, all I care about is what's for lunch. So we're going to find out right now what is for lunch. Today should be pretty good, I feel like. I mean, I haven't said this in a while. Today is blackened tilapia. That seems pretty good.
Yeah, but
with roasted baby potatoes, seasonal vegetables, and chef choice salad. That's blackened tilapia with roasted baby potatoes and seasoned vegetables. That's what's for lunch. I think that sounds pretty good. So, yeah, enjoy that for sure. Yeah, Neil just talked about the banks. I'm glad he did that because, yeah, JP Morgan does not get back up to the highs, but it gets pretty close. Up 3% today is nice. We're saved. We're actually now up on our position, which is wild because we had to hold this. Well, of course, we had to hold everything all the way down into $200. Now 233 with the story behind them now. So let's see what happens with JP Morgan moving forward. It's nice. I'm going to feel pretty confident in stocks that are up day after report, but I do want to wait for the 3-day rule. So let's not get too carried away here with JP Morgan. Nice day today. If you're long at the bottom, nothing wrong with trying to cash out a little bit of JP Morgan here today. Take this as a nice sort of green shoot. A lot of people were nervous about the report, obviously, and many earnings seasons are going to be questioned. Many names this earnings season will be questioned with their guide and what we're talking about moving forward. And I just think it's going to be impossible, really, to guide until we get some more clarity with this market. So it is now time for Money Talks over with Adara.
This is the U.S. dollar, and we've broken below the $100 level, guys. We have not been this low since September of 2024. We've actually, in terms of being back below the the $100 level, looks like we haven't even been there since July 2023. So point is, very significant lows being made here right now for the DXY as it continues this kind of head and shoulders rounded top pattern that we've seen it form over the last little while. We'll have to wait and see what happens here. We did get, it's worth noting, we got PPI this morning. I think the more significant print that is of note is this University of Michigan consumer sentiment. Sentiment lower than expected, 50.8 versus 53.8 expected. Then we got the 5-year inflation expectations, 4.4% versus 4.3% expected. But by far the biggest shocker, 1-year inflation expectations, University of Michigan, 6.7% versus 5.2% expected. So basically, we're seeing people expect higher inflation and sentiment getting a little bit lower. The Fed also echoing this. Today, we have Musalem making some comments saying that the tariffs, if they're implemented, pose upside risk to inflation. And he doesn't know if that's going to take months, quarters, or years to get over. So lots of bearishness coming here from, or I guess hawkishness, coming from Fed's Musalems. And we are brought to you by ProfitX. Are you looking for unbeatable odds in the biggest games? Switch to ProfitX's peer-to-peer platform where you set the price. No more one-size-fits-all lines. It's like crafting your own picking strategy with real-time trading tools. Secure the best odds, track the action, and watch your plays come alive. Experience total control at every step. ProfitX, sports playing reimagined. Users can use code TraderTV to get our sign-up offer of 2% cash back up to $300. Back to you.
No, we should have shorted our view on maybe the market. Thanks,
The market right back to going into the red. They'll tell you the Chinese ADRs can't catch a bid today. It's not happening for them. Remember, there is a liquidity bottom because there was the story or rumor or talk of the delisting of Chinese ADRs. Baba caught a bid at 101.50. JD caught one at about the same time as well, just a little bit lower than where it is. So I feel like you get to those levels, maybe like it's 1% more to the downside. You get to that level. So I think you could get there. Obviously, the only reason I took NIO was whatever the heck was going on at 336. So we get to that bottom, that's an out. Like all of them have the same low from the afternoon yesterday. So if you hit that bottom as a scalp trade, just try to get out of it at that particular point. Didn't actually get Mara off of VWAP. I was saying, yeah, money fills have been kind of above VWAP here. Well, there weren't any fills above VWAP this time, so we didn't get it. This time I'll just sit on the offer and see if I can't pick it back up, because IBIT, or Bitcoin at least, is decidedly trending down and underneath the volume-weighted average price. So everything coming back in. I know it says it's up 3% on Bitcoin, but it's a failed break of the high. Like, look at that. Goes right into resistance, failed break, and now you're trending down. So clearly, we're talking about a weak market, and crypto is no different from everything else at this moment. So yeah, just be careful. We have had a decent bounce off the lows, but you're still, most places, holding trend down. I know there's a few slivers or kernels of strength out there in individual names, but for the most part, most things are continuing to trend down.
Yeah, 10:55. Again, thank you to everybody for being here with us. Okay, Jameson, I know you just tagged Neil, but we'll have a quick look at. No, just saying
FXI is breaking.
Yeah, it's not breaking 32 yet, and for me, on FXI, 32 important level, but I'm waiting. I still want to get long. Like if the market does come into here, I don't mind getting long FXI into 31.80, and if you do go short that 32, as you just mentioned there, was it Jameson? You got to watch out and maybe cover something if you get to 31.80. That would be a good trade on FXI on the ETF. Let me check out what XLF is doing. We just talked about JP Morgan was doing fine today, but the other ones are not, with XLF down pretty. Wow, what is Morgan doing today? That must be down.
Not as well.
No, definitely not as well. Down 1%. Only because why would the ETF be down? I guess it must be more equally weighted. WFC, yeah, maybe we just found the problem right there. So it looks like that 192 on Apple did hold okay. Let's check out what Amazon's doing just real quickly here, because that was another level that we had talked about. Wow, that was a good one. Remember when you guys asked me about it? I was like, whoops, right down there into 178. And I think we zoomed out and we actually said that down into here would be a decent buy, 176. So any uncertainty in the market here this afternoon, I still like this Amazon level. It's come in, it's bounced off a couple times here. If we can come back over here, Fabian, just quickly. It's bounced off a little bit off of 178. Down there for Amazon. I think this 176-ish area is a buy spot for that. Why am I seeing Roblox popping off a little bit here? It might be nothing. Let's just have a look. It's on the scanner, 5-minute moving average hitting. So yeah, just I guess right here at the 200 period off of a little bit of a choppy day there for Roblox. High of 56 down to 55. And now we're stuck in the middle. Delta Airlines had a big report this week as well. That name coming into play one more time. And okay, not much going on there, but what a day. I think they reported it was either this day or the major, maybe the crazy day. We got up to 44 and now faded right back out. I like the Jets.
Isn't it Monday?
ETF. It might have been Monday, but yeah, anyways, at the end of the day, fading right back in there on Delta. And then the other one.
You're not going to believe what's breaking the high of the day right
Carnival Cruise. Let me guess. What's the market? I won't look. Yeah, if you have it up. Breaking the high of the day. What's been good? AMD.
Well, okay, you couldn't have possibly got this one.
No, what was it?
Lucid.
Oh, Lucid.
Lucid's breaking the high of the day. So there is a story to go with Lucid here. Lucid is buying
Rivian.
Nikola went bankrupt, right? So in the bankruptcy I forget where the plant is. They're buying a Nikola plant, which if you're doing it in bankruptcy, you're getting a good deal. That's the whole idea. Up 3% and trying to break the high. Now the whole rule of, in order for you to squeeze, whoops, I just went the wrong direction. I want to go to the daily chart. In order for you to squeeze, you have to break out tops. Well, Nikola has nothing past 270 in here. So if we do get past 270, it's got a nice little runway to give you another 7 or 8%. It's up 3 points in a market that's not doing much. It's actually increasing in volume into the high. So I think this is one you can throw up on the side just in case. It does still have, I have to throw up a different source to, it's in Arizona is the plant. I don't know what the short float is on it. The usual place I go to, I don't use anymore, so I have to go find it somewhere else. But it still has a decent short float, I'm pretty sure, over there on Lucid. 22% on Lucid short float. So yeah, if it breaks 270, that looks pretty spicy. And that's increasing volume. The biggest volume candle just happened as it was taking out the highs. And that's what you want to look for in the middle of the day, during lunchtime.
Yeah.
You're trading off at key levels, you're joining trends, you're continuing trends. But if you're jumping into something new, is it doing something special? And Lucid is at least trying to do something special. Caveat, it is Lucid. You know.
Yeah, we had, I saw 16%, but it didn't, I mean, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 at some point.
Solid.
It's not really going to matter because you looked over there. I had a joke. I was like, maybe they're buying Rivian. Rivian down to $11 here again today. A name that I don't even think we called up once, and if we did, it was early. It was Tesla. Let's see what that's doing. So yeah, Tesla did have a cranked moment there where we went all the way up to 258 and then all the way down to 244, $14 range there, and looking to get lower. This is one of the worst names right now, I guess, that's out there. I haven't seen like, a big tech name. I mean, we can always look at, like I said, Intel. But Tesla right now down 2.5% and well underneath VWAP. The trend right here, if you're long, would not be your friend today. It's looking pretty bad there. We get these highs, new high, low. So yeah, we're not making high or low. We're not making new highs anytime soon there. And I think if you were to take VWAP, that could be something. But at the end of the day, that's a short for me. We are trying to go short this market. I think Tesla's a good play in and around that 250. Why is everything going crazy right now?
What just happened?
On my trade rate. The market is going nuts right now. Apple, I just got short there. We just got stopped out as quick as you like right there on Apple as... oh shoot, man! Why did we just get stopped out there on Apple? What the heck just happened? We went short and got stopped out at 194 break, as we said, and then it just tanked again. Look at the quotes, man. Quote levitation time right now. There has to be. We'll throw over to the main show, but Adair's not even at her desk actually, so we have to check it out. If there is, not that there's anything wrong with that, but just the fact that I can't figure out what's going on. No, don't worry, Sharif, stay there. No, don't even worry about it. It's absolutely nothing. I just wanted to see.
It was just a volume. It was a weird volume spike.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it.
Everything hit the offer at the same time. And when you see it happen, if you ever trade with multiple level twos and multiple charts up of things that are moving, what'll end up happening is it'll just seem like, oh, you know what broke loose, because every one of your offers lift at the same moment.
Oh, boy.
So that's all I saw. So I got filled on MAR. That's the only thing I was offering was MAR. I got it at VWAP in here, and we're going to try to take it out back on the way down. So that was a good opportunity to short, I think.
Yeah, man, that's a face slapper right there. We were like, why did we get stopped out there? Because we did, and then boom, right there. Now we bring Apple right back to life, and there it goes right down to the downside. So yes, sir, we do take a hell of an advantage on that one. Props up for that, as I was just like, okay. And again, when you don't see news, it's not like we were panicking there or anything. We're just looking to see if there was any news because we are so sensitive now.
Yes, if there is, you want to consider the punch out. If there isn't, then you're like, okay, these are going to be good shorts.
Wait a second, just quickly, just an update on why stops are important. Okay, so we talked about this yesterday. So there's my short, the first short we had there, 193.85. There's the stop when we break. We got out at 194. So there's my out. So that literally, we take a 25-cent hit there on shares of Apple. So if that was that big China story or whatever, we're out of it and now we can regroup. So once we saw that settle down, we double checked the news. There was no news apparently there. There probably is, but whatever it was, it's Fed Williams speaking, so that's it. So right there, look what happens, Neil. That's a 20-cent hit, only to go right back and get back into that club. So 20-cent hit one way, $1 the other. We're happy with that. Those are the ratios that we look for here on the show. So thank you so much for watching. It's been a great morning show. Let's give it over to the big guys on the big desk with Sharif and Joe. Ciao.
Go get them, boys.
Boom, 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 boom. Boom! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome.